We'll have to move the on-air light and the camera for another time. This is a big mess. This is my shop. Hello, welcome, YouTubers. You cannot hear the music that I've got going on. It's DJ Deckard of the Space Cowboys doing My Definition of Chill, which is a fairly well-known, at least in my circles, mix that he does. He does a special thing. Okay, let's get YouTube up on the board here. So YouTube at OhBotherVOD. Open that up. Open up my nose stream. Mute my nose stream, and then let's pop out that chat. Boom. Now, resources on this computer, of course, are going to be fairly limited. What's up, Sfar? How you doing? Resources on this computer have gotten fairly limited as of late. Fusion, hey, Hairbothan. Fusion still runs on it just fine. I'm just concerned about Chrome parking all of my windows. Doing okay. Okay is not good enough. We need you to be doing great. Either doing great personally or doing great things. I'm miserable because I got enough sleep last night. Funny how that works. I got enough sleep and so I'm miserable. Currently have no job. Well, technically neither do I. Technically neither do I. Although this is sort of consulting firm work, I suppose you could call it. That's how I've classified it on my taxes. No job, no money, no girl. Yeah. What's the overall arching theme of Venture Brothers is to recontextualize your failures? So I've made some progress on this. If you guys didn't notice, it's also in the thumbnail. I actually managed to 3D model this thing fully properly, and I'll go over all the stuff that I did because I learned a lot while doing this. So I've got a fairly good replication of the nose bridge. These all have little errors in it, that's why I have an X on it. But I got a fairly decent replication of the piece that's supposed to hold your nose up. So now we got to modify it, and we have this ample like bridge section, this big flat section here that we can use to kind of peel this thing open a little bit more, and we'll retain these glasses mounting points. But you can see it doesn't need all of the trough that we gave it. We can move those troughs out a little bit. New nose bridge with automatic nose picker. Yeah, it'll be like those nose hair trimmers. You kind of plug your nostrils into it. I was thinking about getting those for like Burning Man, although I've been to Burning Man once and I've never been back, so I'm a bit of a poser. I don't have $2,000 to spend every year, but they have these little filter things that you put up in your nose. I don't think between you and me, just personally between us, I don't think I need things to accentuate my already massive nose. What is that? Is that that's a thing on YouTube? Afternoon, hope you're doing well. It's like a little crown with a number 1. What does that even mean? Top fans. You can do it. Keep showing support. 25 XP. I don't know what the YouTube stuff means, but it certainly is a thing. That's cool. I got 4 of the DSO 138 tiny scope kits on AliExpress for $5 each in a flash sale. Yeah, a scope on the Eurorack. I have one of those from Amazon because that's where I typically source my stuff. It's just easy for me. But I got it a while back and it's sitting in a drawer over there. I got one of those tiny scopes. It's like it was like a $30 scope or something ludicrously cheap. There is a $400 scope module for Eurorack. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that little scope and try to make it as minimal as possible. Actually, really what I want to do is I have circular screens. Those circle screens make a huge showing in Eurorack stuff because they're awesome. They look really cool, right? Monochrome OLED circular screen. I want to turn that into an oscilloscope. I don't know if I can modify the cheap oscilloscope or if I just have to make it my own from scratch. Hajiwo, who I think you have linked me to, Speedy Cat. Hajiwo has a whole scope project that I would love to do, because having a scope and then having the module testing module will give me a nice round testing suite that I can use instead of hooking it up to all my equipment. Although it turns out the module testing module, I don't know if that's going to have the accuracy of my scope. I don't know what that's going to be like. So we're not working on that today because it scares me. That's why we've changed gears. I want to get these safety glasses things done so I can ping my friend and maybe we can go shoot guns and I can do it safely while being able to also see. And I can see how badly my my targeting ability has deteriorated over the years. But anyway, so this project, while being something specifically for me to do things that YouTube will demonetize my demonetize my channel about, is a really interesting sort of dive into Fusion360 and its capabilities, given a 3D scanner and every advantage, including the 3D mouse that Speedy Cat thinks is really cool. It's not really a 3D mouse, it's just from 3D Connections and it's their CAD mouse. They sent this to me for free. I got this for free, which is why I have no qualms about putting it on my crappy table and getting like masking tape on it. It's a good mouse. It's a good mouse. I don't know if I would say it's worth the money. It is a good mouse. It's got weight to it. It matches the gaming mice that I typically use. And then they also sent me the 3D Connection 3D mouse thing for free. And this is all Bluetooth. I don't have to have a cable on this. This thing is really good at collecting dust. If you get used to it and you set it up properly, it's actually really nice to be able to just kind of zoom around in your designs. But I have not been reaching for it as I do these CAD streams. I have not been reaching for it. It's really good if you want to show a client like a product, or if you're doing architectural engineering, you can actually do like a walkthrough. These are on flash sale, just going to mount them in a printed faceplate. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. With the knobs and whatever else, you could just turn it 90 degrees. If it's like the one that I have. I don't know if these are like the one that I have. Where's the one that I have? Sitting over here somewhere. You're gonna make me dumpster dive in my own shop. We need to do a massive shop clean out. That's one thing that Bother does not take lightly. And I've been working on shop cleanup over the past couple weeks. I haven't really gotten anything done. I kind of tore everything out and it's all just sitting out. Notepad, my rubbly gloves. Where did that thing go? I don't know. The one I got, oh, here it is. Here it is, here it is. I found it, I found it, I found it. This one is like really wide and the screen for it is small. I never liked them, tried for years, but I always go back to gaming mouse and keyboard. Yeah, I agree with you, Boom Leg Shot. That's kind of how it goes for me too. I've got an older version of the Space Mouse, but they through the Fusion360 creator program, who is sponsoring this video. I'm not obligated to say any of this, by the way. But anyway, so they went through the Fusion creator program. Was like, hey, you guys want this? I'm like, hell yeah! And so I'm gonna be giving it a try over the next until they break, which may be never. So I may be using these in perpetuity, but my opinion on them is, I don't know. I think the gaming mouse is probably preferable for me. And the jury's still out on wireless. I think I kind of like wired mice. But I'm old school. I'm an old millennial. All right, let's take a look at the scope that I have. This is how much? I think it was pretty cheap. I think it was like under $30. Hold on, let me get this out here. I can't get in. There you go. So yeah, it's like wide. Oh, and they soldered all the surface mount stuff for you. And then this is the screen. I'm glad the screen is on a different module, although it's a lot of pins. So the question would be if I could convert this into this or this, with all the ins and outs behind it like that, and just a big IDC kind of thing. It's the same. Okay, yeah, so somebody made a billion of these and then tried to sell them all. Yeah, so like probably like that. And then you'd have to make a button panel and an input panel. It would be a bit of a project, but then you could have a fully featured scope. The thing is though, if I'm tuning musical notes, I mean, this would literally just be to display like utility display, right? If you're tuning it, you really need to do it musically, like, because the amount of precision it takes to get like the exact notes and everything, I don't think this thing will be able to display. It goes to the very last digit of my expensive O-scope when I'm tuning like frequencies, which is crazy. It's like 4 digits on volts, 4 decimal points. I mean, it would be cool if I could get stuff like this working. This is my really nice AC milliamp meter. I think my brother gave this to me, but I don't know what to do with this one. Put it in a project, put it to work, I don't know. They're open source. So then it's just a matter of getting all this stuff together. That's interesting. Well, that open source, does that mean that there's like features in it too that people are updating? I'm using mine more just to view the waveforms. Yeah, exactly. That's, you can view the waveforms, go, oh, okay, it's a ramp. Oh, it's a reverse sawtooth. Yeah, and flashy cosmetics. Listen, I know the value of the blinking lights wall. One day I will be able to do the blinking lights and have a whole wall full of scopes and stuff that would be hooked up to like my audio feed. Maybe my video feed. I've got some, they're the old ass ones with the old LCD though. I need more tube stuff. I need to go to more like swap meets and stuff and figure out where I can get, you know, the old tube scopes that nobody wants. Julian offered me one, but it was a very big one. And I'm like, I can't do the very, very big ones. I've already got some old equipment here that's way too big for my britches. And I'm already spilling out in the other room of the shop. I mean, what I would love to do here, and I can't, there's a coat closet that's right directly on the other side of this wall here. I would love to get everything out of there and set up a couple tables in there and have 3D printing and all my computers just 2 sheets of drywall away, you know, so that this could be a quiet studio. But I don't have much choice on the cameras unless I need to pool my money and just get a bunch of NDI stuff, either NDI or some other kind of camera protocol that's not USB. Because USB limits how far away my cameras can be. The main computer's here and it branches out in 2 directions. So to get to burn the subs, it's actually quite a big trip. And I could use some new camera angles. I mean, this is about as far as I can go outward on this table. It would be nice if I had something like either drop down or, I don't know, just something where I can film the board a little bit more easily. When it comes time, when the board is finally active again, I will clear off that table and I'll be able to move the tripod around. I like that because then I set up shots where the laser comes into view, burns the name, and then goes out of view. I can program that, but it's for now, it's just better that I do it. Eventually, I would like to be building robot arms. I want to be able to build a robot arm, and one of them's going to have a camera on the end. And that'll be able to sort of do more, you know, follow it, do more dynamic stuff, maybe give a sweep shot as it's burning the name. And with any luck and a little bit of ingenuity, we might be able to get it to automatically publish shorts on the VOD channel. So I could, well, or on my main channel, I could finally resurrect that main channel that I haven't touched. The main YouTube channel, of course, is home to 3 videos that were made 20 years ago. They took me a lot of editing to make, and it's just so much of a burden on my time to both stream and edit all the streams, and I don't have the money to pay for somebody to do that, so that channel's kind of dead. Maybe, well, the VOD channel has the luxury of having streams going into it all the time, so that kind of keeps that channel alive, the Obother at VOD channel. Is it Oba_view? Anyway, having the robot arm camera means that I can take whatever video that's getting, maybe, and you know, the software will know from this time to this time, make a clip, and that clip will be the person's name burning up onto the board. And then that'll automatically, you know, put append their name to the title, burning, put it up as a short. I think that would be great, because then we could get all the names on the board as a playlist and people can find their own names, because people like to do that. All those videos will have like 1 view and whoever's 1 view plus whoever's taken there algorithmically on their shorts feed. This is a song that would most definitely get flagged on YouTube. This is just straight up LCD sound system. This isn't even like a weird techno version. This is literally, well, I guess LCD sound system you don't really need to do that with, but generally when these mix people are making their mixes, as they do, they'll put like the special creepy techno version of the song up. I guess this is the instrumental, so there's that. You don't have to listen to LCD Sound System guy talk. Sing, is that what they call it? This piece is evil. This piece is evil. There are two lines that reach an asymptote, so they're not parallel. These holes are not centered on anything. They're off to the sides. This is just undesignable. There's nothing I can do about this. Sounds better than the huge tsunami of AI slop we're constantly assaulted with. One creator that I'm subscribed to, who will remain unnamed, is using AI to make their thumbnails, and like, I'm not an artist, right? I am a little bit. I guess you could say that I'm an artist, but none of this is art, and it's so easy to make a thumbnail. All I do is paste in something that makes me laugh, or something that's covering what we're actually doing that day. And then I write a quip on top of it, select by color, grow by 5 pixels. So that'll make the background for the text. There's probably a way to automatically do this. I just don't know it. I'm too dumb. And then I will come up here to these other, oh, you guys can't see the layers. The layers are behind my face cam. Lots of layers in this document, right? I'll come up and I'll just say, okay, what looks good? What looks good? Should I put in one of these or no? So I didn't put in one of those. So algorithmically open mouth, for some reason, everybody has to look like an asshole. That apparently gets you views, but yeah, so I just, figure that stuff out. If I need logos or anything like that. Oh yeah, I forgot about the drive. We should have done that for the steering wheel scanning stream. But then throw that all together and just make a PNG and label it with the date, and then I can throw it up on the thumbnail. And it doesn't annoy everybody, and it's not auto-generated. It's actually a picture that I control. I just don't understand using AI to do that. It's not, I don't know, it's not good. That's right, this is my little moving thing, and then I've got chat that we can throw somewhere else if we need to. Has somebody already turned that open source scope into a module? What do they call it? DSO, this says 138. Yeah, DSO 138. Let's just look that up. Let's see if somebody's already done it. What are we doing? We're doing this. And then I'm doing one of these windows over here. Oh, there's slamming around going on upstairs. Oh, this is something that Julian got, and I should probably make. Arduino-based 6-channel Eurorack gate trigger sequencer and Euclidean rhythm generator. I like that. I should get this. I should make this. Oh, and it has one of those LED screens in it. There are two types of thumbnails that I like: actually good high effort and intentionally over the top cringe. Oh, where everybody's got their mouth open. What would you categorize last stream's thumbnail? Because it's one of my favorites. You don't have to like it. I love this one so much. It's so stupid. It's the infinite bother. Abject stupidity makes me laugh. That one is both. It's everything. Modulove.io. Is this one's a purchase? Yeah, this one's a purchase. So this is not a you can make it. Although it is a kit. It looks like I see a kit in the background there. Oh, there's a BOM and firmware. Oh, okay. Oh, so you could, oh, build guide. Okay, so you could, maybe I want to make this. Perhaps I would like to make this at some point. That would be neat. Okay, so we're looking up DSO 138 Euro rack. Simple Euro rack oscilloscope, $14. Oh, it was 14 bucks. Okay, 15 bucks, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If you don't got the dough, then you owe me, oh. Oh. I would take, yeah, I would want to rearrange this and make it smaller so that you're just the width of the screen. This is a weird part of the mix. Put in a different rack, got more space. Great way to learn your modules better. Yeah, that's the thing. It's for like learning what the modules are doing, less than it is actual measurement. Unless you have a really good frequency source that you can compare against, because that was fun to do the other day. We had our two frequencies up on the oscilloscope, and we were basically counting beats until they overlay on top of one another like perfectly. Hey, Smith Clay! Wait, that barely went off over here. Smith Clay subbing for 42 months. 42 months. That's, hey, thank you so much, Smith Clay. Yeah, we should put this thing together at some point soon, because we're going to Euro rackize it. It's a $14 oscilloscope, and it's okay for what it is. I demand a refund if the idea light didn't light. Do you realize how much crap I get when Burn the Subs is active? Oh my god. I wasn't here. I demand a refund. Actually, nobody demanded a refund. That would be a lie. Julian seems to have collected all of my doll hands. I don't know what he was doing with them. Oh yeah, that's right. He does creepy things with them. Fractal hand. My fractal hand. Hello, chat. Thank you for watching my fractal hand. Today, we are going to work on things with my fractal hand. Greetings. How's it going? You can infer how it's going by my fractal hand. I need little teeny tiny hands to go on the ends of these. I could probably reprint. I have a 3D print. Using the goop printer, the black goo from Prometheus printer, I could probably make little teeny tiny hands to go on the ends of these hands. I actually just bought black goo. I didn't have black goo. That's why these are done in clear. They kind of look cool in clear though. It's kind of a cool look. Today we'll be struggling with CAD. We will be struggling with CAD as I inch closer, like a snail, I inch closer towards actually having a nose insert that fits my stupid face. I've made quite a bit of headway on this already. Just kind of pooping around with it, recreating what was there originally. I did it in a way that's kind of backwards. We'll go over what I did, but I think I started on the wrong end. I started on the glasses mount, and it seems like the glasses mount was the last thing that went into this. And I need to widen some interstitial pieces, but there's like 3 specific chunks of this nose piece that I've created. So we can not go back in time. We can actually just take the design, slice it, and then reinvent the parts that we need to reinvent using my fractal hand. Yeah! Rocket punch! Yeah! Nah! That wasn't as good of a rocket punch as I wanted. We could actually make something that does rocket punch, because I do have a fist doll hand. We could paint this Twitch colors and make it Chat's rocket punch, or put a Twitch logo on the back of it and put it in something spring-loaded. Maybe make it an inordinately high number of channel points to rocket punch oh bother, and then this thing will go sproing and it'll very uncomfortably hit me in the face and or the microphone. That's an idea. I'm gonna put rocket punch on the list. The 100-volt thrower is something that I would like to get back to, but I didn't order parts because of fucking tariffs suddenly reigning supreme over everything that we do here. I am not as free to order parts. I am, but it sickens me. So I have not ordered the MOSFETs. DigiKey has a huge warehouse in America, so I should be immune on little parts orders, but things like designing circuit boards, where's the keyboard project? I don't know. I would very much like to use Fusion360 and their board editing and stuff to follow through with the second version of that Flexi PCB. But like, what are prices doing? Let's see. Oop, that's the wrong one. That's every scene I've got. Actually, that is a good one for right now. Although the computer is not exactly prominent on there, but I'm going to leave it up for just a minute here. So let's go to JLC. Speedy Cat was saying there's like a $60 charge on top of it. I want to spend an extra $60. That's still cheap for Flexi PCBs, but it still just kind of sucks. Flexi. Oh, I guess I have to get started with a quote. See the prices. So Flexi PCB special offer. It's still only $2, but there's still going to be like shipping estimate $22. Yeah, there's still going to be additional charges. But that's still a Flexi PCB is like, that would be totally cool to do the keyboard project with. Is my glucose level really 310? What's my glucose level? Ah, it's 310. It's coming up, but the insulin's gonna act on everything. I had instant noodles, which are fairly carb heavy. It's not terrible. It's 310. It is pretty far up there. It's a big spike. You can see where there's a big 20U right there in the middle of the screen. That's where I injected after eating lunch, and it was after eating lunch, which is unfortunate. I need to inject well ahead, and then I literally just had noodles and 2 eggs. So it was a fairly simple carb meal, which that will hopefully go back down. I think in like 15 minutes I'm gonna reassess and maybe give myself another couple units, maybe like 8 units, and it'll bring it back down. Chester Willard, thank you for subbing for 54 months. I really appreciate that. Thank you. We're just chewing the fat right now, literally and figuratively. They were good noodles too. It was like chili lime. Buldak, fire noodles. They were very tasty. I liked them a lot. Unfortunately, they're wreaking havoc on my my glucose level. So I guess I'm still gonna get good prices. What about FR4? What was that one? Why is that just out of view? Yes, they're hiding it under special offer. So I guess if I go with JLC, I may still be able to get fairly cheap PCBs. This is a creepy part of the song. Why is it so creepy? I gotta run to a bike shop and try on shoes. Maybe I'll catch you when I come back. Yeah, hell yeah. I still have my clip shoes from way back in the day. I'm gonna resurrect that bike. I gotta do that. I gotta resurrect the bike so that I can actually lose some weight here. If I do get on the SGL1 or whatever meds, I gotta exercise alongside of it, because otherwise it's just not really gonna do anything. I know it's like the magic weight loss stuff. And I've been on similar drugs. They just made their super duper compilation of them. Like I've been on, is it Vivinas, whatever? They're ones reaching way back in time, but it's like the limiting of your natural hunger is sort of a big component of those. The old ones would make you feel kind of crummy. They'd make your stomach feel really tight. But then all of a sudden my doc puts me on Jardiance. When I asked about the Manjaro and like the good ones, he was like, no, but now he's changed his tune again. So if I can get on those drugs and I can get exercising with them, maybe I can lose the weight finally. Yeah, GLP-1s. They were made for type 2 diabetics who already make their own insulin. They were not intended for type 1 diabetics because type 1 diabetics don't have insulin insensitivity. They just don't make insulin. It's like two totally different conditions that are under one roof, under one set of symptoms. But so with me, I am a huge fat dude, and so I have insulin resistance. And so that's where the SGLs will help me out, I guess. Yeah. Right. We'll start in a couple minutes here. We're just chilling. Chilling. I'm just thinking about projects that I have to get. What the heck? Last Miles just subbed for 10 months. 10 months of this abuse and still no burn the subs. We worked on it. We looked at the power supply. The power supply works. We know that. There's my hand. We know that the power supply works on it. And I'm cleaning up my shop a little bit in the meantime, but once we get back to burn the subs, which will be very soon, I just want a final push on the safety glasses thing, because eventually I'm going to be using power tools and I would like to use them safely. But we're going to push for the safety glasses. I'm going to get that done. Just a slam dunk of a project. It'll be done. And then we get back to burn the subs and we're going to kind of feel it out. That was a tier 3. Oh, Last Miles. You do not have to do that. Thank you so much. And anybody who's watching, oh, nobody's watching. Oh, that's a low number. You guys check out Last Miles. Last Miles also streams. It's very important that you check out their channel. Very important indeed. So yeah, we'll get back to burn the subs. We'll do burn the subs, much to Julian's chagrin. You guys saw Julian last stream. He was in here. I was unable to get him to play music by my own fault, my own error. All this crap is in the way, and I didn't move the input over to the desk, so he wasn't able to show me. Later today, I will battle with Risk V hardware. Risk is good. That's all I remember. That's all I know about Risk V hardware is Risk is good from Hackers the movie, 1990. I love that movie. I think I might have it memorized. Risk V. It's Risk V, right? Right? I think you've had it out with me over this before, but I've only ever known it as Risk V because I'm a consumer of computer products, not an expert. I like this kind of beat. I've been fighting an ARM RISC ASIC thing at work for weeks. I don't even know what it entails. What? I'm looking this up. I'm looking it up because it's like a major architecture thing that I just don't understand. Where is my browser? Oh my God. There's a lot of stuff open on this computer right now. Reduced instruction set. Ha. Pronounce RISC. And then it's pronounced V. It's RISC V. Is a computer architecture designed to simplify the individual instructions given to the computer to accomplish tasks. Compared to the instructions given to a complex instruction set compiler, a RISC computer might require more instructions, more code in order to accomplish a task because the individual instructions perform simpler operations. So this is the thing in computer science when you boil down a computer down to its component parts. What it's doing is it's exercising instructions. And so if you program something in machine language, you are using individual instructions to the processor to tell it to do things like move ones and zeros, put something into a math processor. You may ask it to calculate things on the spot. And through the movement of ones and zeros, you can accomplish very instructional heavy or complicated tasks over a wide set of hardware by using a program language that goes into a compiler and creates those basic instructions. Or you could just know those instructions. You could be a freak and know what those instructions are and individually put them into the processor to be executed. That is sort of the fundamental architecture of how computers work, and they do that by using a clock and going through memory, right? So RISC is just a particular flavor of those instructional sets that make processors process. We need a pile of stuff to deal with an initial post code following U-boot, and then maybe UEFI and grub and arg. I would need, if you did not put an ellipsis in front of arg, I would assume that arg is not an expression and it is some form of instruction set. Yeah, I don't know nothing about the boot process, but that just sounds, yeah. It looks very complicated in computer science-y. Oh, we got a thing. I'm working on an article to be published sometime. It's this month. Nice. Actually getting an article published. I used to hold this whole getting an article published thing with all this reverence, and then I got that writing job for Hackaday, and it turns out the editor would just throw your thing up on the website just like immediately. He trusted you to have proper grammar, and I could not be trusted to have proper grammar. This is a lot of words that are very small for me. Hey, I remember this picture. That's right, you have all this stuff hanging. Awesome. Close that. Close this. Go to this. What the hell is that emote doing? What that mouth doing? Mega consume. Okay. My stuff is not a subject to anyone. Oh, not subject to anyone editing? Yeah. RISC is the ultimate flavor, the best, the least amount of circuit to get something done. Okay. I'm taking a big sippy. I mean, what was it like? The last person to make an OS from scratch went batshit insane. Right? It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. I know nothing about nothing, man. I know microcontrollers, which are like computers, but they are fundamentally more simple. Oh, I unintentionally changed scenes there, but I guess that works. Temple OS, that's who I'm talking about. I don't think they were the last person to make an OS from that low of a level, but it helps to be crazy, I think. First, you need to be batshit insane. Oh yeah, that's what I just alluded to. Yeah, that may be the order. It's something in your brain's got to be broken for you to fall upon the thought of, I'm going to make an OS from scratch and go through all of that time and aggravation and trouble and troubleshooting. And ooh, that does not sound like fun. Though for some people, Germans, it's probably pretty fun. We knew a friend of mine in college, a very German fellow, who was in a game design class, and he decided to make his own game engine instead of using the one that was assigned. It was like, okay, man, that's a lot. I mean, that was back when the engine would be much more simplistic. Code in Holy C for the best experience with LSD25. All right, what is that? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna pull that up and look. I'm gonna reach your L. It's LSD25. Is it like a specific formulation of lysergic acid? Seems like it is. The effects of lysergic acid, diethylamide, LSD25. Oh, so that's just what LSD is called? I've never heard the number after it. It goes to show you how much I know about LSD. Did a postgrad in biochem. I took like one elective class in biochem type stuff, but it was mostly, all I remember from that class is if you're actually depressed, you will not taste your foods properly because it is an actual like chemical imbalance. But that's horribly simplifying a much more complex issue, which basically describes the class that I took. But it was fun because you got to learn about drugs. Yeah, I know nothing, man. I know next to nothing. Just enough to be dangerous. No, well, no, that's not. Definitely not that. Ooh, this is kind of a little bit of a garagey kind of beat. I like it. I like me a good garage beat. Ooh, this thing's got legs. I like it. Rings as far as the eye can see. Long strings of carbons hooked to nitrogen and hydrogen everywhere. Insulin bottles come with this little, like, super thin paper packet, and it is one big poster, and it unfolds into poster size. In that big packet, they actually have the protein structure of the type of insulin. It's massive. It's pretty crazy. Biocompounds crazy. And in this it's actual biochemists will be like, that's actually nothing. That's kind of small for insulin. That's not really that big. But the thing is, it's big enough that if you don't have stabilizers in there, stabilizers being like chemicals that'll kind of help keep together those big protein strands, you can go like this and you'll see clouds form inside of the insulin, and it'll no longer be effective because you're damaging the protein chains by shaking them. That's without stabilizers. Insulins have stabilizers in them, nitrogens or something, that keep them together. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What else do I got going on? Not a whole lot. Didn't order anything cool. Did I order anything cool? No. I had to order CR2032s, which I never thought would be a thing that I'd have to do. CR2032s are your most typical mid-sized coin cell battery. They're in everything. When you know the CR2032, you start seeing it everywhere. It's a 3-volt battery. It's got a fair amount of life in it. You can solder holders to circuit boards and stuff all day. It's the same thing that powers AirTags, and it is also the thing that's in the security system for my house, apparently, because they didn't want to run wires everywhere. Instead, it has all of these little, I don't know if they're Bluetooth or if they're 413 megahertz. I should probably scan for them with the Dolphin. But they're these wireless little Jim Jams, and when they go bad, it sets off an alarm and it scares my dog. Annoying as hell, because when they do go off, these things have tamper sensors in them. They've got just like one of those little like tape deck switches, and so if you remove the thing from the wall, because all I have to do is screw on a piece of plastic and then put the thing on, and there you go. So when you remove it, it sets off the tamper sensors. Replace the battery, it sets off more tamper sensing, and when it's low on battery, it sets off another alarm. And so once you put that all back together, you have to call them and verify. No, nobody's breaking in. I'm in the suburbs. There's like no crime here. They're Bluetooth. Oh wait, just gave myself away. Can you give me the address for those? The Bluetooth LE. They're not Bluetooth though, because they seem to reach a pretty wide area for being so low power. I don't know, Bluetooth LE, I think that's just referring to the amount of RF energy that it puts out. Bluetooth LE is not all that sippy on the power, depending on what's communicating and how fast. I like this song. This is a good song. It's very complicated. I would like to get the synthesizer to the point where I can make ambience that can be kind of a music fill in the background of the stream, but that's going to take a lot of fiddling. We'll get there. There's a variant of Bluetooth called low power Bluetooth. Not Bluetooth low energy, it's low power. There's a variant of everything that does everything all the time. Everything. All right, after that banger of a song, I think the mix is actually over, so we'll just get started. Oh no, we're only halfway through the mix, so yeah, we're gonna do. I love little garage inspired songs like that. Okay. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Set up. Start soon. There we go. How's everybody doing? I was feeling kind of crummy on Tuesday, so I wasn't able, or on when did I last stream? Yeah, on Tuesday, I was feeling kind of crummy, so I'm feeling a lot better. I got a lot of sleep, so naturally I feel terrible. But I did get a lot of sleep, and so I had no more excuses. We need to work on these projects. And I actually did make good use of my time, my sick day, in that I worked a lot in Fusion360. What we're trying to do, I'm trying to focus a little bit on this project and kind of, you know, knock it out of the park, get it done so that it's done, right? There's an actual goal here. I don't want this one to sit for months. Basically, we are doing the easiest thing in the world, right? It's not. But what we're doing is we are utilizing the Creality's 3D scanner, first off, which is something that I've been meaning to do for quite some time. Utilizing the Creality 3D scanner and trying to get my prescription safety glasses to fit my freakish face. There's a lot of F words in there. These don't fit me. The nose bridge is way too constricting on my giant freakish nose. Are you 3D printing the nose piece? Yes. So these are printed with my SLA printer. This is the original. These are printed with my Prometheus black goop printer, and that printer is super duper accurate. It makes stuff that's a little bit fragile. It's a little bit fragile, but I think it's strong enough to take the place of the nose bridge of these goggles. Because if something hits me in the face, I want this to not shatter. And I don't think it will. I don't think it will shatter. It kind of is a webcam. If we're honest, this kind of is a... Can I add that as a source? Hold on, let's just try that. I'm going to hit plus on OBS. And then we're going to add a... what would that be? It would be a video capture device and CR scan. I don't know if this thing hangs out as a source. Oh, depth camera, IR camera, RGB camera. That's the RGB camera. Oh, and that ain't half bad. It's not very high resolution, but it ain't half bad. Huh. Depth cam. Depth cam does not have something that can display. What about IR? So IR is looking at a point cloud for time of flight. Cool. Oh, you could see like the trends of the IR too. Wait, does that mean it's able to see through stuff that it shouldn't? That no one should be subject to? What, oh, I know what we can look at. We can look at a thing. Hold on, let's look at a thing. It's the CR scanner. It's the Creality scanning device for getting 3D objects into your computer from existing objects. Where did that go? What did I do with it? Hold on a second. I got something that's you can't see through unless it's infrared. Here's the this thing. You can kind of see in there. That's an index lighthouse. Cool. This is tech we can buy at home? Yeah, so the CR scan, here. If you haven't seen it yet, the CR scan netted us some very fun stuff. Very fun stuff indeed. I was able to scan my face straight into CAD. It really didn't like my beard, though. It really hated my beard. It did not like my beard. So it looks like I took a hit from an orbital laser from right on this angle. You missed. It really looks like. But one of the cool parts is that you could get the omnipresent bother view from inside, and it does creepy stuff with your perspective. It looks better in the CR scan software, but I've closed that in order to save memory. But yeah, the whole purpose, well, this project is so awesome because I didn't really expect to do it, but ignoring the canvas in the middle, for some reason I can't disable that canvas. I don't know why it doesn't let me disable this canvas. I just can't unview it. I don't understand that. So yeah, anyway, ignoring the canvas right there, I am able to take my 3D designs and overlay them onto my face. And so the goal here was to get these glasses to fit like they should normally. So that's just like that. We put painter's tape over the lenses so that they would scan in. What's the sensor resolution? You're gonna have to look up CR scan ferret. I don't know. I don't know stuff like that. This is the CR Scan Ferret SE. It's about $200 though. It was expensive. I could have gotten one for free through the Fusion Creators Program, but I had bought mine and had it for like a couple weeks. And then they were like, hey, we got these. Do you guys want them for free? And I'm like, ah. Like, this whole stream could have been brought to you by, but I have to know about this thing for fun and my own sanity. $200 is peanuts. Have you seen my risk fee collection? Is that hardware expensive? I guess just death by 1,000 cuts, huh? Yeah, so the CR Scan Ferret, look, I'm not going to say it's amazing at its job. It does a good enough job, though. I trust its dimensionality enough. The scan of my head obviously needs professional help in many different ways. I kind of like what it did with my hair, but the only reason the hair looks at all serviceable is that it's applying textures over top of it. That can fool you in a lot of ways. Only with foot spray. Yeah, the spray that doesn't cost $20 a can, that'll make your things matte. Odorex. Dr. Scholl's Odorex. By the way, it doesn't say foot spray anywhere on it. It doesn't say any, well, freshens feet. This is the first mention of feet on the whole bottle. But this stuff will put a matte surface on top of your objects, which works really well with the infrared camera. It makes it so that when the dots hit something, they don't deviate and create aberrations. Now, skin is pretty matte, so I did not have to swallow any foot spray. I did not have to swallow, and I'm not gonna scan my feet. You guys are not allowed to have scans of my feet. What we did is we got this really cool, I look like I'm about to just throw on a chest plate and go harass people at a market. Ugh. Anyway, I don't like the look of these things, but they are ballistically rated. These are Bubba Gun kind of things. They're crossbows. Here, let's look it up online. From ESS, this crossbow, and they're this kind of like tactically kind of guys, like manly men. Look at how tactical I am. Look at me. These aren't the ones. I have the ones that are very thin on the side. Smoke gray for only $50. The thing that attracted me to these is that they have a clip-in prescription insert so that I can still see while wearing safety glasses. Instead of applying goggles over top of my glasses, I can instead have them inside. So that requires this nose bridge piece. Now, ESS does not sell a nose bridge for people with gigantic schnozes. They do sell various depths of the nose bridge piece because the nose bridge has this little rubbly guy on it, this little rubbly bumper. And this little rubbly bumper is what's supposed to interface with your stupid head, right? So we're going to move that on our own. We're going to move it forward, and we're going to try to preserve the location of the glasses because I don't know if they'll mount any further inside. Like, I guess they will. They'll just have to curve a little bit more, and they'll be pressed up against the front. My glasses cost me under $1,000 for a pair of glasses and sunglasses. I don't know, man. I usually go through the online optical places. I just got my prescription redone and got this pair. It's been jarring though for me because I lost the ability to see things as close up as I used to be able to. I was doing the one eye was for viewing far away and the other eye was for viewing up close. And then they fixed my prescription and now they're both viewing far away and I can't focus on my hand right now. Like my hand is very blurry and it's right in front of my face. So I got to adjust to that. I'm not sure that they did this. They might have just done it to sell me progressives, even though the progressive would be no prescription. Because, like, whoa, I can see perfectly now. Anyway, so the point is, closes the oh bother only feet. Stupid human brain. Why is the part about the genitals so close to the part about the feet? Anyway, yeah, so these clip in, and I took the calipers and we banged out a caliper session on this thing. I did all kinds of measurements in order to create half of this thing, and then I mirrored it to create the other half. And so I've got a design that very closely resembles dimensionally what I have here. So there's that piece, and then there's our piece. Can we get a little further away with this camera? Can we maybe get a little, you guys give me like a little bit of room to breathe? It's a little further, that's not as far away. Let's see if we can go maximum far away. Yeah, this camera does not do far away. This would be a microscope. So, all right, so there's about as far as we can go. I bought some 1.5 clip-on lenses like the cross stitch people use. I don't mind looking really dorky because they really work. Yeah, but what if you could look like this? What if you could look like this? The perfect man. Scientists, so, do we still have that one? I think I still have that overlay. No, we don't. Huh. Wasn't this one? Oh yeah, what it is actually. Amazing. He's perfect in every way. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get them to actually fit my face. It is rare that glasses of any type will fit my face properly. I have to alter the bridge of the nose. I don't know what the guy at the glasses shop, I put on my glasses when he first gave them back to me, and they were like this. They were at least up here. And he was saying, they look great on you. I'm like, so I have to take the bridge and go, and then stuff will fit me properly. So I figured it would be fun and funny to get a 3D model of my gorgeous head. And it is. It's very, very funny indeed. It's so weird seeing myself like this. Yeah, there's a bit of a Dr. Disrespect vibe going on. Maybe not from this side. This is unfortunately a result of my beard not being all that thick in some places. We have a family portrait somewhere around here where it's like a relative from like the 1800s, and they have pretty much like the same facial hair that I do. Oh God, it makes it look really weird down here. Ugh. Should I put on a plate carrier and start harassing kids in Fork Knife? The game? Most things can be made to fit with pliers and a blowtorch. The thing is, okay, so the thing about this project is that this bridge piece is some type of plastic, right? It's just some generic plastic. I don't think it's labeled what type of plastic it is. It's probably a pretty resilient plastic. The thing is, I don't think it's a thermoplastic. So what I could do, and I wouldn't suggest anybody try this, but maybe I could heat it up and push this outwards. But I think it would distort all kinds of stuff around here. So 3D printing with the Goop printer is pretty much like the go-to here. I think this is going to have the accuracy to do these millimeter-sized features. My 3D printer, the filament printer, would not have this resolution. It would probably do a near enough as makes no difference, but this is going to look like the real deal, and it'll perform mildly close, probably close enough that I don't really need to worry about any issues. So if I get hit in the face with something and the nose piece breaks, it still won't go into my eye, hopefully. Maybe the nose piece will go into my eye. That's kind of what we're engineering here. I've been scammed. Oh yeah, I already got that comment. Yeah, so anyway, that's the idea. That's what we're going to try to do here today. And I have done some legwork in the background, obviously, to make these models. I have had to make some models. In order to make this thing, I had to make this thing. Hold on, let's get the sketch out of here. So, where's sketches? Sketches, here we go. So, no sketches. So what I did is initially, I actually took this face and I created half of a sketch. So I measured some of the features and I kind of put stuff together, unbeknownst to me, because this is actually an expansion here of this piece, because I got a lot of this stuff wrong, but it's okay. I took the datums in the particular locations. Here's the thing, Fusion Dark Mode, yeah, it's a River Rubicon. In the display settings down here, visual style. Oh no, it's environment. In the environment, right over here is River Rubicon. I don't like the other environments, the dark ones, because I don't like the dark ones. Don't say that. Only in whispered tones they'll hear. No, so I don't like the other visual environments because they will do horrible things. Gray room, I guess, is okay. They'll make it harder to see your object just by the lighting environment. And the sort of dark ones, do horrible things to your initial steel model. I keep it in steel. I could do an appearance override and make it plastic looking, but like this is not good. This is not good for seeing details on models. It's just bad. So River Rubicon actually gives you the ability to see stuff. And then, oh yeah, and then the windows. Yeah, dark mode is relatively new. In some of the electronics stuff, they still haven't sort of sorted the visuals. I noticed that when I click on a feature, I can't see the highlight down on the timeline. I don't think they got rid of that feature, did they? Why would they get rid of that feature? It's like the fundamental feature of Fusion. I don't know if it's something I did or what, but it used to be that I could click on like this chamfer and it would tell me which ones of these it was. But now I gotta like hunt it. So yeah, I took datums, which wasn't a good idea. In this initial sketch, I was measuring from a center line. The problem with doing that is that what I want to do to this object in the end is widen out the nose area. I want to move it outwards. So in doing this, I kind of locked my model off to alterations. Now I could take shortcuts and treat this thing kind of like it's movable and kind of slide it in and do weird stuff with like cut pieces of solid objects. But what I had to do is go back and fundamentally redo this sketch. And this is the first one. This is the first sketch. So really the whole design somewhat relies, at least for the front piece, somewhat relies on this sketch. So I can't delete any of this stuff. I got to keep it in here. What I did eventually is I split it by planes so that I had 3 objects to make up the nose piece. Why are you fitting your model? What do you mean, why? It's because these don't fit. If you look inside of my face, and I can show you this IRL later, if you look inside of my face, you can see that these things are clipping. And I have them in a position where they would fundamentally fit properly, as in relatively close to the face. Not a whole lot of gap there. I think they will actually stretch outwards a little bit when you put them on, because your face is putting outward pressure on the ends. How much do these? Hold on, we don't have. Yeah, see, like they'll expand just a little bit out from what we scanned. Damn, they go through your skin. Yeah, it's just straight through my skin. Oh, you said altercations instead of alterations. Listen, I don't know what I say any given moment in time. You can't rely on me to remember anything that I've said. I can't see this shot, but like, you know, that ain't fit. That doesn't fit. There's probably a big gap there. It's too tall, too high up. The glasses, I think, are in an okay spot, so that may need to be altered later on, but yeah, these just, and this is without the rubber piece, and the rubber piece pushes them out even further. So. Whoa. Okay, yeah, so the goal here is to move this outwards, and if you look at the model, it's only the glasses piece and maybe a little tiny bit of that bridge right here that clips in. So if we move that out and we move some pieces forward, there's a chance that this will fit properly. I don't have a model of the lenses themselves. They'll sit pretty close to the front there. We're going to push everything forward just subtly and widen out that nose. Yeah, the boomer profile pics. That's how I feel with like this. It's just guns stuff, you know? I mean, they're good safety glasses. They wrap around and protect your eye from all kinds of different angles. They will be good for using power tools and stuff like that. I will use them shooting, mostly ironically. But all the association with all all the boomers, where their profile pic will look like this, but they're in like a car, or they're looking down their glasses at something. How do I put a picture into this app? Did you put a fillet on the V's internal corner in that sketch, or is it a fillet? on the internal corner of the V's, the fillet. Do you mean this down here? What are happened? Code Rushed! Everybody go check out Code Rushed. What's up, Code Rushed? How's it going? We're doing some kind of cursed stuff here with the 3D scan of my face, me looking like a Bubba Redneck type. I'm gonna need to see some ID. Yeah, but what we're trying to do is use a 3D scan of your intrepid host in order to put cool guy glasses on myself. They're eye protection that's ballistically rated. My friend insisted on me getting these because they are a cheap path to having prescription safety glasses. They have a clip-in on them. I would never wear glasses that look like that. Most likely I would go for John Lennon type round glasses. Hold on a second. I got that right here. It's my safety glass. I can't get to my my drawers. Not my underwear, I mean my drawers, like the organization drawers. Sitting right here. They've gone a little deeper in than I remember. Yeah, whatever. I don't have them. I have a pair of round safety glasses somewhere around here. They may be sitting in something else. But yeah, the ones that have the little hooks on the end to keep them on. So, I need the problem with that initial sketch is I anchored things down. Now you can go in Fusion, you can go in there and you can alter these things. You can unanchor components of it. I figured what I'd do is I would just recreate this plate and or the other features from the mount to the glasses back. And we'll just recreate those components because originally I made this as one big body and it was 3 sketches that powered everything. So the middle piece was just simply a matter of measuring things. I had to fiddle with it. I had to do some iteration in order to get this depth right because this depth here has a curved surface on the outside, which is a 3-dimensional. It's like based on a blob because of the shape of the lenses. The lenses, I think, are probably 2 sets of curves. There's an X and a Y curve, but for some reason these kind of dip down as they get down here. They kind of dip in a little bit. So there's a complex solid that is a mirror image of itself that has some weird properties to it in order to get the lenses to fit properly. What I did in order to get that, and this is the part that may be educational. In order to get the dimensions, we took a 3D scan of the glasses, and then I created a form. Fusion 360 is something called forms, where you have quads instead of triangles. So instead of 3 points of contact for your triangle, you have 4 points, and they all behave like Bezier curves. It tries to kind of smooth itself out. Those glasses are a cross-section of a hyperbolic surface in 5 dimensions. There's something evil. I can't rely on a lot of the parts of this. I mean, the dimensions are generally pretty good. It is painter's tape sitting over top of a reflective surface, and we got an okay scan, but the scan kind of broke down in a couple areas. Like this is just a recreation of the solid that it thought was there. We didn't get much from the top. We didn't really need a whole lot from the top. All I need to do is just, figure out where the center is and all that stuff, and be able to place it over top of my model where I want the glasses to fit. And as long as we produce an object that's symmetric, we know that this thing is symmetric and it'll all work out in the end, right? This is all sort of almosts in this thing. I tried to assign rounded numbers to everything just as a matter of course, just so that things sort of go together properly, and you start to get into the mind of the designers and see what they put into this in order to create what they created. I don't think I got too close to, to seeing God on this one. I didn't really get too far into the eyes of the designers. I got some good round numbers on stuff that made some sense to me, but other than that, there's a lot of weirdness in this. But one of the things that I was able to do is fit a curvature to this using the forms. So I created a sphere in forms, and then I lost it. What? Did I not double click? Did I not double click to go? Oh, this is, yeah, here it is. So this form, I was able to subtly manipulate until it matched the curve. Now you can't really see it because I matched the front side of the lens to the inside of this. I actually matched the curve to the form, and I was able to move it back and forth in order to get it to basically phase in and out of the sphere at just the right spots. Once I got that, I was able to create an inner radius using the radius tool. So I actually, no, not an inner radius. I created an outer radius that would represent the thickness of the glass. No, wait a minute, I'm wrong again. Hold on a second. I went the other way around. I made an outer radius. I made the sphere larger. And the largeness of the sphere was in relation to the shape of the front nose piece. So my sketch of the front nose piece here, this thing, half of it, this and this, I was able to create a solid that intersected with that sphere, that chord sphere. So I had a thickness of a weird oblong, of an oblate spheroid. There we go. I created an oblate spheroid with an outer radius that is the thickness of the outside of the nose piece. That's how I was able to get the solid to match the curvature of the glasses. And you can see, good enough job that you can't really see it. You don't see any gaps and it doesn't wobble around. I had to trial and error the thickness a little bit though, because the inner piece, this piece, they didn't curve this. It would actually be kind of easy for me to curve the inside of this using the software. They didn't do it, so I'm not doing it. It might help to have like 3 points of contact with the glasses. That's probably what it is. If they did a curved surface on the inside, you would have to like curve clip it in. I don't know. Just a thought. But yeah, so that's how I was able to match the curve, and then I was able to just drop a chamfer on it. Getting the inner pieces to match was just putting a couple circles in select areas so that they'll catch on the thing. So I'll bring back in this stuff. Oh, we're still in forms. I got to get out of forms. Finish form. My final form. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of work yesterday and the day before. Getting this to work properly and getting the curves of the sphere correct. There might be a better way to do it. I don't know it. I was able to just manipulate the form in a mirror image and get it to scale on the X and the Y properly so that it matched the lens itself. And I probably could have rendered my own lens and had like a clean looking lens, but we're not prioritizing that. I'm not making computer graphics here. I'm just trying to get a pair of glasses to fit on myself. I don't want to make too much work for myself. So yeah, then it was just a matter of a bunch of extrusions, and now I have a piece that very closely resembles the actual nose piece of the set of safety glasses. But I need to expand this mount out so that the rubber doesn't hit my face until it should, right? I don't want to make a model of the rubber because this is just the most evil shape in the world. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made this thing. So we can get the camera to focus a little better on it. I do not know what they were thinking when they made this thing, but I can see some complicated, I mean, I maybe could do this with the forms tool. I've learned a lot about the forms tool since we last used it. You can add faces and additional solids by just hitting Alt. So that's where I think it becomes very powerful, where you're able to actually build up something that looks like this in that tool. I don't want to have to do that. It looks like a lot of work to get it right. But this is so evil. I mean, look, okay, so it's got a horizontal cut at the top. There, do that just so we get a frame of reference on this thing. All right, so ignoring the effects that the camera would have on this display, because the camera is not orthogonal, it doesn't have a perfect, flat view of things. We have 2 holes to mount it. They're 2 millimeter holes. That's extremely small. They are not in the middle. It looks like they're pushed to one side, but the angle of these two is branching out at a different angle than the outside wall and a different angle than the inside wall. And then this is totally arbitrary. Now it could be that if this came down and was solid, you could fill it and then chamfer, or is it chamfer and then fillet? Whatever. You could do the cross section, you know, you could get this shape out of it maybe. And maybe it would make a little bit more sense. I don't know if they used Fusion360 or not, but this at one angle, this at a different angle that's slightly different, these two at a distance and a weird angle, and then this is exactly 5 millimeters. If you go from a certain angle, this is exactly 5 millimeters. I think it's the angle of the line between these two holes. If you continue on that line, it's 5 millimeters to get to this edge. So like just cursed dimensions. Here's what I was able to do with it though. So ignoring this and ignoring this, and ignoring this, basically we designed it from the glasses mount that way towards the nose bridge. Now we're coming back in the other direction to redesign it from the part that clips in back. Kind of a weird thing to do, but it, you know, it seems to work. So I am looking at my new sketch that I've made all the way out here where the original thing mounted. This sketch, here without the glasses here, this sketch does not use any of the fundamental locations aside from an X and a Y locating the middle. So this is basically the middle of the bridge. Not this piece behind it, but the actual nose bridge piece, given the width of this thing going around an arc. So what I did is I actually took this image. I took a screenshot of this, zoomed in a little bit and in focus. What is up with the focus today? That's a very small focal point today. All right, I took the image of that and I put it into Fusion. So we're really kind of pulling out all the stops here and utilizing this program for everything it's worth. You pull them in as a canvas and then you can scale the canvas. So I pulled in the canvas and I scaled the canvas and I was able to create an unanchored version of this that revolves around a circle. So those two holes, and let's get these out of here, are lining up with the image pretty well. Okay, where'd that go? Sorry. Lining up pretty well with the circle. I've given them rounded numbers so that it's not perfect. It doesn't perfectly hit the image, but it's close enough and it preserves all of my angles and distances. In Fusion, when you do a drawing like this and you assign all of these, like the constants in it, it locks it down and then the line changes color. And if you try to alter the line, it'll either not do anything if it's anchored properly, like this I cannot move. I can click and drag, nothing will happen. Or sometimes things will shift in completely cursed ways. Like if I got rid of, I kind of don't want it. Well, I'll show you. Even if I've got it locked down fundamentally, I basically gave it, hey, keep this distance here the same and keep the angle the same. And what that does is it tells it to revolve everything that's not anchored down using a horizontal, vertical, or an angle to something that's locked down. Everything can move. Like this in relation to this will remain at the same angle, which I think is one of the areas that this thing fails out. So if I try to drag it, I can just move it around. Oh, no. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Burp. It's very fragile. You have to be careful. Can't make any loud noises around it, or the whole model explodes. Whoa. So yeah, this is how we're going to widen the bridge. This is a lot of work. I put a lot of work into this. Father's nose is so complicated that a full CAD suite is needed. Simple duct tape does not come close to fix it. We're utilizing every single thing that we possibly, every piece of technology that we can in order to give us a proper nose bridge. Let's finish this sketch. And now this model is just this sketch. So for reference, we can just do, I will bring in this piece just for reference and we'll hit save. And then I can go back to this drawing, and because I brought in this as a component, it'll say that it's out of date. We can just update it to, wow, there's a lot of stuff in this menu. Get latest version, and now it's going to update to what I saved. And it did not respect my view settings. Yeah, it didn't respect my view settings. What the heck? What gives, man? All right, so let's go to the sketch that I wanted to see. It's visible. Oh, it's just hard for us to see it. And then let's get the bodies out of here. We got to let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Okay, so that's all out of there. This sketch is at the location of the bridge, and it's, of course, it's like impossible to see. So widening it that far, it will poke me in the eye. That's going to poke me in the eye. That's just going to straight up just poke my eye. How far in does this go? This goes, I should probably put up like a 3D sketch context so that I know what the distance of the bridge is. Oh, sketches. Yeah, you're right. There we go. That's so much better. Yeah, I always mess that one up. So yeah, we can move that in a little bit. It'll be a slight alteration, but I think it'll be good as long as this part doesn't dig into my nose. It'll probably sit a little bit higher up than what we've got in CAD, but it'll at least fit. What's this? This reminds me of the rumor that Summer Galu from Firefly had the exact same skull as Olivia. What are people are crazy with the theories. What the heck? Okay, so let's move this in a little bit. And the sketch also, oh no, it doesn't tell us where the bridge is. So where's the glasses stuff? This also needs to be moved in just a little bit. So we'll probably move this in about the thickness of it. We'll just push it forward a little bit. And then we can figure out what a good distance is for the rubbly mount here. So let's go back to here. And we only want two things visible. So we want that and this. And then we're going to go back to the sketch. Just pull it in a little bit without it blowing up. And it blew up. Control Z. Let's try this. That might do it. Gotta save it. That is a weird rumor. And then this one, right click, get latest version. And now I'll be able to see where that sketch falls on my big dumb face. That's a little better. Do we want to move it all the way in? I mean, you know, I could engineer this to fall in a particular place. How many millimeter forward? I mean, this is going to get real close to my eye. My eye. Very close to my eye. If I moved this up a little bit, no, we don't want it to move up. We want it to be at this height. But if I move this piece upwards towards the circle a little, it still has to clear though, and not get in the way of that. Yeah, because I think it'll get in the way. Hold on, wait. Let's these are like inserted into my face. Nope. Orthogonal bother. Ah, it's orthogonal bother. Run for the hills. Huh. Get subdermal magnets. Ugh. Walk by an MRI and have my eyes ripped out. Okay, so we're going to move this forward. I'm probably going to have to move it forward anyway, just because of the size of the rubber thing. But if the rubber thing is coming in at this angle, it has a better chance of actually squeezing the right spot. It'll feel low, but I think it'll hug my face better too. What does the symmetrical line look like? So let's just go back into the sketch here. I got to make sure because I'm asymmetrical. And we're going to modify or create a mirror on this line. Does that mean when I move one, the other one's going to move? Hey, look at that. I got little deployable wings. I'm an F-16 Tomcat. Okay, anyway. So yeah, let's move out just a little bit. F-14, sorry, I got the F-16 is not the right one. I knew that when I said it, but I went through with the bit. I know. I'm not as good with like specifics. I used to have a model rocket that was an F-14, and it went up into the air, and when the charge went off to set out the parachute, it would deploy the wings on a rubber band, and then it's supposed to glide back down. But what I saw was about like 6 to 8 hours of work crash back down into the ground and not glide at all. Do I want to mirror these? I'm going to mirror these. What I did last time is I actually created the solid and then I mirrored it. These are just for display, just to make it look like the thing that it is, and to see the asymmetry of my face and to come into play. Which one did they use in Top Gun? The F-14 or was it F-16? I forget. Okay, so there's a better display of sort of what we're altering. Look at that little alteration it needs, though. Crazy. The new Top Gun is F-18. The other one's 14. So I'm just nothing's lining up here for me. Which Top Gun? Which one do you think I'm talking about? All right, let's save this and go into the other one. I don't think they have the Raptor in the new one. Well, in the initial scene. I think I fell asleep during that movie. The new one. Okay, so that's too close. That's gonna put plastic into my face. So just a little bit further out from where it is, and I think we won't clip. And then instead of making it forward, I'm going to create it in this direction so that we squish things a little bit more in. What about the intro scene? Wasn't he in something crazy? Oh no, he's in some like stupid AI thing in the intro scene. Okay, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. We're gonna move it out just a little bit further. Was that activity that I just saw, or was it just a blinking light in my? That was a blinking light in my peripheral vision. So back to the sketch. And I'm just gonna, hello? Back to the sketch. The one with all the dimensions on it. And I'm gonna move this out just a tiny bit. Don't blow up, don't blow up. That was too little of a tiny bit. I don't know where to grab it from when I'm moving it. I think that'll clear. We're gonna check. We're just gonna check. I'm gonna put all my ducks in the row here. The thing is, like, I can design this down to the millimeter for fitting me in a particular way, but in the end, it's going to have a lot of wiggle room for everything because this is a squishy human body, and I don't think they'll sit exactly where I have them sitting. We tried to get it as accurate as I could. As accurate as I could, and that's sort of the battle cry of this whole thing. So, get latest version. That's how it is with bio stuff. And I guess I could try to change this angle because then it would fit with the nose clip a little better. But I think if the two of these merge, it's not that big. Well, no, because that's rubber that has to go on this side. I guess I can always cut into this a little bit, because I do want to thicken these clips up a little bit. They seem to be strained on the model. Or I could, no, if I twist this anymore, it's not really going to do. Because we have that rubber connecty piece in the middle, I wanted to keep the distance between the two sort of the same as you move them out. So basically we're taking this, and we're just kind of pushing it out a little bit. That's it. That's all it takes. All right, so I guess I'm going to live with this. Oh, God, I can't. What the heck? I keep trying to view it in 3D, but when I do, it like swings us over into the 3D view and everything changes. Look at his dead eyes. Ugh. Okay. We've got to recreate this whole thing using this sketch. I'm going to have to reincorporate this mount and base it off of a different measurement. I think about this. I mean, I can project this back in. I want to make these a little bit further out, and then I can move those clips up a little bit in order to get it all fit properly. What's up, Silly Russell? Taking a break from Fusion to watch Twitch. Well, we're doing stuff that's completely cursed. With the 3D scan of my head. I look like freaking Zardoz in this one. Like guns are going to fall out of my mouth. I'm trying to recreate this, but not have it be like tethered down. I could probably do some weird stuff with the angles and defining them. I kind of started to do it up here. But I don't know if that's really going to work out. I don't think I'll be able to fully recreate what I want to recreate. The alternative is just projecting stuff into this drawing. I can project it from one drawing to the other, or I could reinvent it in some way. Let's, I guess, try reinvention. So I do not need the symmetry anymore, and I'm going to get rid of the nose piece so it's not so distracting. And we'll get rid of the mirrored objects over here. Go left to right, so I only select stuff that's fully enveloped by the drag and drop. And I can just delete these. We will eventually mirror them. Finish the sketch because I got to go into another sketch in order to see my dimensions. So sketch 1 was sort of the master stuff. I do not really want to... We could use this to measure off of, I suppose. So we've got that going on like that. And then over here, I need a little bit inside of this location. So if I take it from, I guess, our fundamental center over here, but, oh, I don't need this. This is the top for this line. Why is that a solid? Oh, I see. So that's still going off into something. Where did that come from? Hold on a minute. Is that coming from this sketch? No, see, there's like a rogue. Oh, I see. It's projected from another solid. I see. Yeah, so I projected this line even though I don't need it. I'm going to make that into a construction line then. Yeah, we really didn't need this. This is just to get a, I think it's to get a height. Yeah, this is the bridge piece between the two. And we're going to have to draft this from one end to the other so it can avoid my nose meat. At least your model has eyes. I can't even post to your Discord my 3D scan I work with. It's not a 3D scan of a boob, is it? Is it a booby scan? All right, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this. I'm just trying to get a little bit of context and figure out how I'm going to make this meet up with this and then have that glasses mount on it. So let's define our trough. So this to this location, put it into normal numbers. I will go from, I guess we'll just take this as like a fundamental point, because I also have to meet up this part too. And I think I can move that up. We'll take a look in just a second. Hold on, one second. So there it's roughly 8 by 15. Technically, I could move the glasses pieces up a little bit too. So let's go with 8mm down, and we'll make this 15. Actually, I'm looking for, wait, what happened here? Oh, did I do 80 on the other one? 8. And then the glasses mount further out. So I guess I want to get it out to the edge here. And we'll make that 16. No, 15 and a half. 15 is there. I could make it 14 and a half, and then I can start the trough there, because the glasses piece is a little further out anyway. And somehow I have to recreate this solid up to there. Let's see. Okay, so the other sketch is now a little bit distracting, but hold on a sec. No, I need to get this first. Okay, hold on. We're getting there. We're getting there. That one is 0.6 radius, 1.2mm diameter. So this would be a trough. What do they call it again? Slot. Center to center. Here, arbitrary distance. Just make it 3mm. And then make it 1.2mm. And make those construction lines, non-construction lines, sorry. That'll be our new location for that. There's so many. The light green color of the text is a little tough, and I apologize. It makes it a little bit difficult to see what's going on. So I guess out here, I need to go up and down a distance. And then I will use the chamfering tools to kind of round it into the bridge piece. Really down the distance would be the thing that I need, but what about, where would I locate this fundamentally from? I guess I'm going from up here. Go to like the bottom corner. Or do I go? No, I guess I make the whole square. What I did before was I made a 3-point rectangle from a distance that went a distance. Maybe that's what I need to do. Okay, so that's 8mm down. So I got to make, actually, I don't need, yeah, we've got this center line here. And so I'll take that center line and I'm going to create a rectangle and then anchor the center to the outside or the inside. Let's anchor it to the inside on the line that defines where the trough, where the slot is. So, geez, it's a lot. We're going to create a rectangle, and it's going to be a 3-point rectangle, but it needs to be like a 3 center point rectangle. So I'm just going to make it over here. And then I'm going to pull this. Can I move this anywhere? I can't. Oh, because it made it all. Oh, that's annoying. It added all these anchors to everything. Of course, if I get rid of the horizontal anchors, it will. Oh, those are parallels. Oh, I totally ruined my rectangle. How do I do that? Hold on, I gotta think of this. Yeah, there's a dark mode. They're working on sort of, there's some cracks in the dark mode, but it does work, and it saves your eyes from being completely blasted out. In the electronics working stuff, there's some weirdnesses, but it's mostly there. Yeah, a center rectangle will shoot out in either direction. It's kind of what I'm looking to do, but it's not quite what I need. What I want is, well, if I define it as a 3-point rectangle and I go here, here, and give it a depth, and let's make that solid just so I can find it again. That's going to travel up and down on this. So if I can constrain this line, this line, center point to that dot. There we go. Okay. And so now I give it a distance here, and now we can define using numbers how far out our glasses mount is. The body of our glasses mount. It's going to be like 12, 16, 18, not 20. Definitely not 20. $15 and a half. More like 0.6-ish, but we'll leave it at that distance. That should capture it pretty well. And remember, we've got a bunch of sketches on top of each other right now. We're just trying to kind of define some of the solid lines in this. Hold on. Bring me back that, do that, turn it all into construction. Then turn this off of construction, and then give this a distance here of 4 millimeter. Yeah, 4 is going to be pretty big. That'll get a nice strong mount. Nice strong mount. Now, let's see. Why don't I give us a, maybe just a tangent arc? If I arc this inwards, I can round off this outside edge, but then it gives that little like teardrop. I don't know what that teardrop is going to do in terms of visibility, because we will have already widened the bridge pretty far. Huh. That's pretty wide. It's funny how close it gets. I guess I will just give it like an arc in here. So create arc, and I think I'm going to use my boy tangent arc. Well, I don't really have a thing to define it with. Yeah, this is, no, that's not what I want. Just give me a 3-pointer. Connect maybe vertically like that, and then bring that in like that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that. No, I hate it. I hate it. Nope. We're going to use Fusion tools to do it. We're going to use the chamfer tool to do it. I'll just put a straight connection just right here, and we'll just bring this corner out until it swallows it. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. This should probably be 3. That's a little bit more conservative. That should do. Okay, so top of the glasses. These might be on different planes too. I don't know if I'm going to do, I don't know if I'll push everyone back. I may push everything back. I think that might benefit. I think it might be okay if I push the whole assembly back a little bit. And then we'll draft from one place to the other. It'll be kind of cool to use those tools. This is a cursed drawing. It's been through the ringer. And then we need our inner, the inner part of the bridge. These are kind of fundamental, although it's going to arc in at a different arc. Can it do that? I think it can do that. I'm really only limited by this. And if it arcs a little bit differently, it'll just have to get to that shape eventually. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Let me unview the sketch that I'm working on. Herp, derp, derp. Okay, so we are meeting up with, not you, this point down here. So I guess I'm going to project this in, even though this part isn't, these dimensions are going to be involved in the final thing, but we already have that one up there, yeah. Oh, and I already have this one. Oh, so I don't need to project. Hold on, Control Z. I already have a point. It's right there. Okay. I was working on this very late at night. I kind of forget some of the stuff. So we need to meet up with this and this. I could do it with an arc and a line. So if I use tangent arc, come down here like, oh, tangent arc is fun. Wait, let's put this in. Tangent arc. And then I need to somehow meet up with some kind of an angle over here. That doesn't look right. Let me just put a line on this and see what it does. Yeah, so this I can control, but what I could try to do, can I do this here to here? There we go. And then it locks in the dimension. Aha! So I made the arc tangent of both ends so that the line distance met with the arc smoothly. So I don't have to chamfer anything. Although this is a little bit big. What did the old one look like? It's a little big. It's a little big. Maybe we could smallify it a little bit. This is how the pioneers used to do this kind of stuff. Is that going to be an even distance? 12. Aha! So if I actually anchor these down to like a horizontal or a vertical, the lines will change color to tell me that they actually are fixed in place. But like this should not be movable anymore. Ouch, I really just hurt myself scratching my balls just now. That was not a good look. That hurt a lot. This seems like it might be an 8.2. It's not an 8.5. But if I move it up that little bit, I wonder if the mounts for the, it is definitely an 8.2, huh? Yeah, I guess we'll just keep it there for now. This is cursed. So I guess I'm doing the same thing with the tangent arc up here. The most cursed drawing. Continue this line. Parallel. Parallel. Escape the line tool. The line tool can be a lot sometimes. So we're going to do a tangent arc from Mya to Mya. And I'll do the same thing. I'll go into the cycle and I'll say make a tangent line out of this guy. And it moved my mount. It moved the wrong thing. It didn't move it a lot, but it did move it. And I don't know if I want it to do that. So if I Control Z, one of these days I'm going to Control Z and it'll break everything. U to U. Okay, that barely moved things. The numbers are probably insane for these lower pieces down here. And if I drag this and move it at all, now that I've added all these geometries to it, everything's going to blow up. If I need to move this at all, I'm going to have a lot of trouble. I really hope I don't need to move it. But I think that gets us there. To make the solid, we are just going to chamfer these after the fact. I could try to add arcs and stuff, but I think it's better this way. This one I manually added all the chamfers because I was basing it on the photo of the actual rubber mount. So I needed to get those geometries in there so that I could compare them to the real model. So in the other version of this, we're just going to roll with it and do the chamfers later. So okay, that is the sketch. Let's close this off too. Which line are you? There's only one sketch line here? Huh, okay, so we'll just take this and we'll do a solid line from the top to this arc right here, and that closes it off. And now we have our two shapes. We have the clip and the arm. Oh, and I need to do the little clip for the, what you call it? The clip for the glasses themselves. Now that can actually be fairly pliable. That's actually, there's a lot that I can do there. Like I can move it up a little bit and it'll still work fundamentally. Or I could change it into something else. I could make it work in a totally different manner. It doesn't need to necessarily match that shape. And it looks like we are way out on the outside of the arc there. So let's see what we have in the other one, and then we can modify them a little bit. Because I'll maybe make a construction line that goes up this way, and we'll push the mounts up so that we can still fit the rubber that's now got a weird geometry on it. Smart! Sketch number 1. How are you created? Just on the outside line, taking it up and over. So on that angle, it's still at that same angle. Our angle's changed. We've moved it up. But what is the distance here? Oh, this is the... Oh, no, that's not the... That's the one. 3 millimeter. So if I go up here and then I go over at the same angle as the wall, and I use all the same dimensions, that means we're gonna grippy this thing a little bit better. Because it really is the very outside that's being used, and it's almost too much for the plastic that I used. See how it's like, doesn't quite like what's going on there? So we can move the solid piece further out to accommodate. So in this crazy business, what's this distance? 3 by 7. Okay, 3 by 7. So I will take a distance above this as a construction line. We'll make it 0.5 millimeter. Like that. And then I'm going to do create rectangle. And we'll do a 3-point. We start here. We go up. Yeah, see where it locks in to be parallel? And we go 3 millimeter. Make that solid. Oh, I didn't finish the rectangle. Wait a second. Control Z. Where's the rest of my rectangle? Okay, so start at this. Go up 3. Tab. No. I'm in the line tool. Why am I in the line tool? Okay, all right. Once more, once again, create rectangle, 3-point, dot here, all the parallels, 3, tab. No, do I click? Yeah, click, and then 7. 7 is a little bit much. We'll make it 6. The other one was 7. This one, do we even... Oh, well, can I do that? Ooh, that's not really going to work, is it? Because it'll be going out to... Wait, where is it on the other one? Where is it on the previous? Because our whole thing is moved up. Yeah, so is that part of the glass is going to even come into that area? Kinda. Because we're kinda... We're at a different angle, and the square is intersecting like here, which looks like it'll hit the glasses, but I should probably try to get all the way out to the edge, because this upper area is pretty much the same as on our other one. So this would be, the square is moved up a little bit. It's like up here, which isn't a good spot to grab the glasses, but it just needs a little bit of help. So 6.5. Yeah, I think that'll get it. And that gives us a little buffer zone right here. A little little woof woof zone. Burf. And then the line, I'm going to come in from above, and I guess we're just going to put a sketch line on that for the depth of our cut, which we're going to make 2, 3, 4 millimeter. That's 5 is too much. 5 is, I think, what was there before. 3.5, and I'll change it later if I need to. 3.5, and then I'll put a solid line just down across. And make sure it's at a right angle. So that is the depth of the bendable area that clips down the glasses. Okay, I think we have everything we need that I can alter later. Finish the sketch. All right, so we are going to be traveling to the left, I think. Yeah, so, oh, yeah, we're moving it in this factor, and we need to keep it at the same dimensions. So those posts, I think, are like 2 or 3 millimeter. I probably shouldn't base the depth of this off of this piece right here. That's not a good idea. We need to be within this distance. It's a huge distance. We can make an educated guess on that. We can see how far it is until this thing touches my nose. So I hate to put this all into calipers, and I'm not being very charitable as to whether or not I can tweak and tune this in the end, you know? You got to kind of consider these things, and I'm just not. We'll be able to see tomorrow if this fits. The whole iterative process that this is. Calipers. So the depth that I need to get to my nose, maximum, which is off by a little bit from that hole, is something like 9 millimeter. So 9 millimeters off of that. Let's do, I guess I could do like a 3D sketch. We could go to this one, and then you guys, yeah, you can see it. I made this window specifically very small so we could do this kind of work. But I can do a 3D sketch. I can convert this into a 3D sketch. It doesn't really change anything. It's just that I can now, I hate how it does that. I can now actually go into this and define something. So up from that hole, the centerpiece of this is probably towards the outside of it, and it's about, it's like 2 or 3 millimeters. So I'm going to take a line here. I'm just going to sloppily go up this line with a sketch line. 3 millimeter. And then I'm going to come out this way. How do I just do the one axis? Oh, I guess I can go like this. No, it hates me. It hates me. It hates me. I'll hit escape. Hit escape. Hit escape. How do I use this? Can I click on? I do not know how to do that. I am a little bit lost. Is there like a 3D line that I should specifically be looking at? What are a bunch of PCBs for? Oh, for Hajibo. Okay. 6-channel sequencers. I'll be able to send a few your way. That's cool. That'll be fun. Sequencers are always good. They're what gets you to sort of your set pattern of notes. I'm struggling a little bit right now. I'm trying to like snap this to an axis. There we go. Okay, and then give it a distance of 9mm. And that's approximately where the rubber thing should hit my face in its new position. Woo, that was heady. All right, finish the sketch. Let's save it. Let's unview this stuff. Let's see what it looks like when compared to my face. Yeah, Hajiwo loves the little OLEDs. Sorry, burping. I'm burping up habanero lime. Those little LED displays, when you actually are in a dark studio, are just the perfect level of brightness. They're very crisp, and you can really see that tiny text in a low light atmosphere. Julian often will black out all of the LEDs on all of his devices. I don't know what some of these module creators are thinking, but they will give you like the absolute maximum calculation of the number of milliamps that the LED is supposed to use. And what you're really supposed to do, and this is like a big deal in the musical device company that I worked for, was when they were done designing the front panel, and like before they would ship any product, they would do this test where you lower the lights, you sit down right dead center in front of the module, close the door. If you can read it without hurting your eyes, then it's probably an appropriate brightness level. But you need to tweak and tune depending on how visible all of your LEDs are, depending on what your LEDs are going through. You know, they might be having a hard time. But you need to change those resistor values so that it reflects the brightness of all the LEDs. Otherwise, you get into a situation where if you tune this with PWM, you could have it so that you turn your head and you see a trail of dots. And that's distracting. They don't want to have that. So they tweak and tune all of the resistor values for the LEDs, you know, based on bins, because you can't put like a 90.76 ohm resistor in there. You can just do like 85, 90, you know, stuff like that. But they would get them to all sort of pseudo match one another. It was very important work. All right, so we're done with that. Let's take a look at it on my big dumb face, and we're gonna update this, get latest version. And that's going to update us with that 3D line. It is going to forget that we unviewed those things. Nice of it to do that. Oh no, you're the wrong thing. Whoa, I've selected myself. Throw it in the trash. Bodies. Boink, boink. Sketches. Okay, that one is visible. Where is my 9mm line? Where did that go? Is that not updated in here? It is not in here. Oh, there it is. So that gets us to there, which is in my body. It is poking my eye out. Oops. That's where the rubber meets the road. I mean, that might actually work at that location, but we definitely want to move it up a little bit. So if I can give it just a couple millimeters, I think it'll fit into this part of my nose. It'll basically hold it like way up here. I think that'll be good. I think it'll actually work out. Back when DVD players were a thing and the power of LEDs were bright enough to light up your entire room. That was like when the blue LED came out. Yeah, the blue LED was the color of the future. I could get them from Radio Shack for like $5, and they were 5-volt devices. These things were not efficient. You know, we didn't have the nice modern blue LED. And there was actually was it a Veritasium about the blue LED? It was fascinating. But the formulations weren't out yet, and so people were putting them into the most futuristic thing they could. And so you get computer status lights that were blue LEDs, and they were blasting blue LEDs. They had them at the maximum amount of current. So you'd go to bed and your whole room would be lit up blue and flashing. It was awful. Just the worst. So I do not think I want this to be on the inner thing. I want it to be fully. I mean, I'm just going to guess on this, and I don't know if I'll be able to change the initial extrusion of the base platen, and that will inform me on, you know, what I can adjust it from there, right? If it's in the timeline. So let's go back to this thing, and what we're going to do is basically take the thickness of the original and we'll go inside with it. So I'm going to go from these pins down. So I want the distance from here, and this is arbitrary. This is just me naming numbers, to there. What are that distance? 4.6. So we're going to go 5 millimeters. I'm going to make that a round number. So I'm going to extrude. So my initial platen, this, and these two right here. We are going to start. Wait, is there a little piece up here? No, that's what I'm doing. So we're going to start at an offset of, wait, what was the thickness? Witness the thickness, the property of the width, one hope, one quest. This thing, distance 1.6. So extrude. I got to select all my stuff again. You, and a U, and a U. And I'm going to start from offset, and that'll be of a -6 millimeter. Or was it negative? Did I say -5? Well, it was, we'll go -6. -6 millimeters, and we're going to go 1.6. 1.6. Welcome to your new platen. I still need to sketch because everything that I extrude now will be based off of the front face of this. Better when my monitor decides to randomly keep turning on and off its backlight. Oh God, it turns on and off the backlight? You might want to pop it open and look at the capacitors if it's doing something like that. Room still flashes blue and trying to go to sleep. Do you have like a really sensitive mouse? I discovered that the power supplies I got are a year ago, there we go, for my synth are dual voltage instead of the tri-voltage ones I ordered. Ugh. Obviously, well past the return date, I ordered a 600 watt tri-voltage unit. Should be enough for the entire synth. I would imagine it can kick back like 10 amps. What I did is I used a 15 volt brick to plug into the wall. I mean, your setup is going to be pretty static. Mine is going to move around. But I have the 15 volts plugging into the wall, and then I went into 3 voltage regulators. One is two of them are from Pololu, and then the other one's from eBay, because not a lot of synthesizers use a lot of -12. They use very little -12. So I have a -12 power supply. Obviously, that's just semantics. I could have done like a 24 and a 12 volt power supply, but whatever. It's all semantics. Or a 12 volt in reverse. This is just easier for me to think of. So I got a -12 volt supply board. I have a +12 supply board, and then I have a 5 volt supply board, but that's on a switch. So don't really need it unless you absolutely have like an old module that needs that 5 volts, because it'll barely use that. And then I think what I do is I use 5 volts also to power like fans if I need a fan in there. This is really bad software. My main monitor flashes when I get up and down from the desk because of static electricity. It is aggravating as hell. I don't know what to do about it. I tried to update the software, but I guess it was so early in the monitor's run that there are no software updates. So extrude this. Start is on object here and go 1 millimeter. Then extrude this and this. Start object right here. 1.2. I'm pushing that out a little bit. I'm making that stronger. So not only is there more material, well, I guess not that much more. There's just a little bit more material. We're grabbing the frame a little higher up. Let's do a comparison here. I feel like I've put more thought into these than the actual company that produces them at this point. So our square is moving up and its angle changes just a little bit. That's going to be a tight, that's maybe not going to be grabbing them properly. If it moves, yeah, if it moves up, that's a problem. All right, that's going to have to come out a little bit. Oh no, it's right up against the edge. That actually might be okay. That might be okay. Because like, frame. Oh, let's add frame microscope into here. So I'm adding a scene, and the scene is frame micro. Have I not made a frame microscope? I haven't made one. Huh. Burn the subs, face, spring arm. Yeah, I haven't made it yet. Dang it. All right, cancel that. Just add it as a display capture. Now, let's not get too complicated. We just take a look. So, all right, this is where the original one is. You can see the shadow of ours in the background there. That's hard to see. But the new one is there. It is on the same, close to the same line. So it just kind of scooches up like that. What does that mean for this? If it scooches, it's going to be on the ragged edge. I think it's going to barely be able to clip. Well, I guess I'll try and see. We'll just have to see what happens because this goes up at its own angle. Yeah, we'll just have to see if it works. If it works. Ah! What? Ah! Okay. That's that feature. Next is the posts. So you, onto you. Start is at object. It's going to be this. And it's going to go, I think it was 2 millimeter. That needs to be a little deeper. I think it's a full 3. 3 is shallow, but I don't necessarily want it to be too deep because then they'll just snap off when I'm building them. So, okay, so there is our all that for this, all that for this shape. But this is where the rubber thing is going to contact this. So it's not interfering with anybody, and we've got a cutout for the glasses clip that's a little stronger. I think we're in good shape. Let's do some chamfering. That's my work group, is Penn Island. That's where we work. We do our work on Penn Island. Everybody's so weird about that. It's just the island. Actually, I think that website's still up. 0.5 donk. Okay, those are softer now. And then let's take this out. By 1. That's good enough. Yeah, and then we'll give this one a little roundy poo. 0.5. That'll do. Round this one by like 3. Okay, 2. Maybe 1. 1's probably fine. This one gets a chamfer. It's a fillet, isn't it? Yeah. Oh no, it's a chamfer. This one actually does get a chamfer. One or two. Leave it at two. Yeah. All right. So then give this back one here. Just a little bit of a 0.5. No, that's a 1. That gets a 1. We're just making it look fancy now at this point. You. No. You, and you. Since this is a 1 millimeter thing, get 0.5. And that'll close them up. Make it look like I rounded it. Chamfer. Oh yeah, you got a chamfer. That's looking good. 1. 0.5. That's better. Jeez. I really hope this clip is able to actually grab the glasses. I've tried to bend the glass piece, the glasses insert, and it bends right back. It's some kind of a freaky glasses metal that's unmalleable. It just doesn't move. I would like to, bend the glasses to match the curve of the frames a little bit more, but I'm afraid I'm gonna blow them up. They don't let me adjust them. They do not allow for that. I don't want to blow them up. It was like a bunch of money for me to get the glasses cut and everything, because they're prescription inserts. They're not cheap. I don't want them to blow up. I just don't want to blow up. Okay, so that's that piece. Now it does look like this is just a piece floating in the middle of the air, but we do actually have a thing that we need to marry this to. And those are the dimensions of the thing. We can't alter that. So what I'm going to do is, I guess, just try to draft the shape over to the other bridge. And that'll hopefully accommodate my giant schnoz. This is not a lot of material here anymore. I kind of moved it pretty far out. Let's just see how this looks on my big dumb face. So I'm gonna hit save. Control S. The reason today went smoothly is because, God, it's only 3. The reason this went so smoothly is because I planned ahead and I actually did the hard part off camera, which was getting all those cursed dimensions to actually work with each other. Get latest version, and I was able to have it swing out. I know, I never leave notes. I did actually leave a note on this one for having done the initial part of the project, which was match the old one, and then I need to recreate a new one. So the match the old one part is thanks to these prints here. And I saved off a version and actually used the thing, but I never enter. Everything is just user saved. Not a whole lot of room for the glasses themselves to exist. That might be a problem. So I may move it back a little bit, but at 9 millimeters where the thing collides with my nose, this would be the Lagrange point, the point of most infiltration into my eye socket. Let's get, oh, the sketch isn't even there. Sketches, and then this one. Oh yeah, that didn't move with the object, did it? So my 9 millimeter point is still from the original distance, which is not what we have here. We have 9 millimeters off this plate. I don't want to make another sketch for that. Glasses are what, maybe 3 millimeter thick? Well, the thing is, it'll fit, because I know we've got that much room, but it'll mean that this has to bend pretty hard. And that might pop these off, because it goes just a little bit deep into there. I don't want it to be under the same stress, under that kind of stress. If I were able to actually affect a bend on these, then I could bend them, and then it would match a little bit better and not put as much pressure into all the plastic. To be fair, I could give this an entire row right here, although that would get a little close to my nose. Well, this is the iterative part of the design, I suppose. An internal chamfer? Which 90 are you talking about? Yeah, these I've moved up a little bit too. No, I haven't. It's like infinitesimal how little I moved them up. But like, yeah, that right there is what's holding in the pressure. And then these are like barely holding on. Look at that. It's like, kill me! Because these have to actually bend the frames. So if I took this, like the bridge right here, and tried to bend it right there, that would maybe relieve some of the stresses that it's... But then again, the stresses that it's seeing are also keeping it stable. It's keeping it from rattling around. So like if I bang my head against something, the glasses don't rattle around. It's a feature, not a bug. Let's move them up a little bit. I'm going to move them in by 3 millimeter, and then I'll put it back to 6 if I print it and I hate it. The little grabbers on the metal inside. That doesn't... The little grabbers of the metal. You need these here or this guy. It's hard to explain. I know, we're trying. We're trying. No, you can see where all the stress is going. These are pretty good. These are okay. Even in their original design, it doesn't clip all that well, does it? This is the original here. And they glued the rubber things down. That was a kind of obnoxious. I don't want to model this. I don't want to model this. If I really could model that and get it all right. I'm just going to do a little iteration here, and we can go into the weeds on this once I get an initial iteration done. But let's just move this back 3 millimeters and see where that puts us. So if I go to the initial extrusion, and I can change the offset over here. This needs to be a little lower. Change that to 3. That moves it away a little bit. And then everything else is based on that, so it recreates everything just fine. I should probably mirror this. I was going to wait to mirror it until I was done. Yeah, we'll just look at one side right now. Well, actually, no, we have to see if my weird shaped face does anything to it. So I'm going to modify. I'm going to click mirror. I can always delete these steps after the fact. Create, rather. Create, and then mirror. And the object selected, the mirror plane, is this guy right here. And we're going to join. Bada bing, bada bingus. It feels like this hood shape is taking up more space, but the original one is literally the exact same amount. It's the exact same size, which is kind of crazy. I meant to move these out a little bit. I wonder if I didn't. Oh, look at that. Oh, hold on a minute. We messed up. These are too, oh no, these are the old ones. Yeah, the new ones move it out a little bit to make it a little stronger. Yeah, I've got, you can see it on, well, the originals have it. And then these, you can see it in there. It's rounded. It's using a slot, not a chamfer, but yeah. The new one's going to be just about the same. It's going to hold them in the same spot. I may have to like tweak it a little bit, but hopefully in the sketches there's enough there to, you know, modify. If I move it up though, it's going to make this arc totally different, which is really annoying. But I have to see whether or not I can loft from here to here, and I've got a sketch on that I want to match. Okay, so let's get this one out of the way and let's just see how this fits to my face. So save that, user saved, and then we jump back over, and then we update. I guess I could edit in place. I could use that, but it gets very visually confusing. There's too much stuff going on. All right, so that gives me that little bit of space off of my nose. Ooh, why are we going slow? Whoa. Okay, visually something. Orthogonal bother can't hurt you. Orthogonal bother. Okay, let's go and move like this. Get in my nose there. Maybe this is where the 3D mouse would excel. You look so cool. I look like a bubbled up redneck. That's going to be a sharp edge. I guess I have to live with that, though. It's going to sit a little higher up on my face anyway, because those rubber pieces are going to come out of there and pinch me. It'll probably sit a little further forward. Yeah, normally glasses like this don't fit my face, and we're looking at the reason. We're zooming in on the reason right now, and that's this big nose that gets in the way. So with a little bit of love and some iterative design, we should be able to get something like this fitting to my face and protecting me from random bullshit that'll be flying at my eyes. You can get a gasket for these, and the gasket like seals it from getting like dust from the side. I don't think I want to get that though. Okay, so somehow sketch 2 has to loft into this. How do we do that? Let me think about this for a second here. Because really anything goes. I just need a little bit of material on this side to create that lip that'll clip this thing in. So if I extrude this, oops, like 1 millimeter, -1. That'll create this solid. Well, the problem with that is that I think this now collides with my nose. I think that part collides with my nose. But I've never really done anything with the loft tool. If I'd use the loft tool, it's going to go to the whole geometry, isn't it? Let's try. Loft. U. To U. Oh boy. Oh, that's unique and weird. It doesn't have enough stuff defined, does it? Yeah, loft is a finicky tool. Let's do 0.5 millimeter extrusion there. Oh no, but I was thinking if I could project this somehow up onto there, but I don't think I can. If I extrude, bring the sketch back in, hold on. I'm just testing stuff. We'll see what sticks. Oh, this needs to create a new body. Gets a little sloppy, but I don't want these connecting to each other because we've got like interstitial parts. I tried to use the form tools, but yeah, I guess I could just move the mirror. So, wait, what were we for? I don't think I used the form tool for anything, but it's in here. Huh. I did use the form tool to get this geometry. The reason this is like so smooth and awesome is because I used form tools in order to make an oval that matched the outside lens, and then I made like a thickness on it using the thickness tool, whatever that is, the coring tool, to make like a negative thickness, and then I extruded a sketch and collided it with that, and that created this form. It was awesome. It was one of the coolest things. Yeah, this one here, bring that out to here. And we'll bring ourselves in. There we go. Witness the fitness. Now, if I did forms, I could take this geometry and smoothify it over to the other one. I think I could actually do that fairly easily. Let's try that. I can do this in either faces or surfaces. Mesh, I don't think so. Surface, I could delete this. So now we have an open body, and I can try to map it to the other one. I think you do that with the no, you're not what I want. I think I want to go into forms, and then I can do a plane here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Not a plane. I want a solid like this. Okay, hold on. Trying. Getting into some of the weird stuff. You think I should try loft with this? Okay, I'll control Z a bit. We won't get fully into forms yet. So we'll try loft. Grab that. Go to solids, create. We'll try lofting it. Loft is going to create all these weird... Because I think if I do an informed, whatever it is... What have you done to me? Why did it connect these? What the fuck? This type. Not quite, bud. Not quite. Yeah, that's why if I had the same form, the same number of triangles on the other end, then I think I could probably get it to sweep a loft across. But if I want it to be a little bit more like fancy and informed, I think I can use the surface quad stuff. That's a little different. Totally makes sense. Yeah, it's just it's mating the entire surface, so I need to make something that has this sort of shape on this one in order to make them connect properly. So if I do that, then it'll just create kind of like a bent form. I don't necessarily need like a bent form. I just need this to like sweep over. And so I think the way to do this is to use the forms, and then I can bring that upper edge. Well, make another sketch, and then I can create another solid, and I can go solid to solid. Because like here, I could make, I could just start with a box, but I don't think, if I sweep this to this, oh, I don't have a path. If I put like a, yeah, that, oh, well, actually, that does get me to where I need to go. But it's not, yeah, see, I gave it this as a path, but that's not really what the path should be. It should probably be from here to here, but down here it needs to be a different path. So it's a two-path kind of thing. But sweep would be a very good way to do it, and then I could modify it to it might require a sketch. You can loft along paths. So, okay, so let me think here. If I create a 3D sketch out of the other one, and I can't like lock it to the surface. See, if I could change that distance between the two and have it mold that without it going crazy, that's what I'm kind of going for here. And if I just use a line to go derp to derp, then it's not going to do it smoothly. But if I have the same number of vertices over here at the right distances, I might be able to get it to do that. Get it to go from thing to thing with a loft or a sweep but sweep needs a path horizontally. Okay. My brain. I cast quad ball. Unweld. Slide the edge. Smooth, cylindrify, pull. Flatten. Straighten. Match. Interpolate. There's a lot of good tools here that I could use in order to do this. I just don't know what the order I need to do them in. I guess what I do need is a form on this sketch in order to tell this thing where we're going. Which means rough drawing of a box going all the way up to that at that thickness. Of course, I already have some of the elements marked out. Or maybe I need a new sketch. Maybe I need a new sketch. Let's do a new sketch. What's another sketch anyway? I guess if I do make another sketch, then I can follow the form around. Where did this sketch even start? Or we'll just go from the old sketch and I'm just going to busy it up with more lines. I suppose that's the way it's going to go. It's got that line going. Well, that's a projected line, so I don't really want that. What I want is the thickness of the other one. So, yeah, where's this? What are you? What are you? Does that taper? Does that look like it tapers? Yeah, it's tapering in. Huh. Well, okay, let's get a measurement on the thickness first. The thickness here to here. So we got 3.3 millimeters. And we're starting from here. I mean, like, shame I can't project it and then move it up. But I guess we'll go down this line. What's the distance on this? Inspect. Because that's the master line. This inside there is what I need. 16 point, Jesus, 852, 17 millimeters. So let's put in a solid line that goes from the bottom of the curve, 17 millimeters. There. Oh, we're in a 3D sketch, huh? Let's get out of the 3D sketch. And then I need a measure of, oh, that's going to be an arc, but here, let me get 17. Where's the 17 measure? There we go. 17 millimeter there. And then I need 3.3 millimeter, I guess, up from here. Boy, howdy, do I not know which line that one's anchoring to. I do not know which one is connected to which. If I change this to... Oh no, if I change that distance, this one's not going to change. Okay. Jeez. So now I need a new arc. Create. Arc. Tangent. From here. I can't see any of the stuff that I'm doing. That's one of the problems here, is that I've got so much stuff on the drawing and it's in dark mode. It's so hard to see. I should be pitied. Where did my horizontal line go from this one? Don't I have one? I don't want it to be tangent to that. What the hell is that one doing? Oh, that's doing the bridge piece. One is 3 point. Wait, why did that get visible again? What the hell? Stuff is just like coming back into fight. Just doesn't, the program just doesn't care. All right, horizontal line. That's just for the tangent arc. And then we need an arc. Create. Tangent arc. What? Who said idea? You could project a sketch over onto the surface you're lofting and forming to. Over on your right, you can hide dimensions and other stuff. I see, I see. Yeah, I don't use that as much. I kind of keep it very busy. I'm not terrible at tracking all the stuff going on. It's just... All right, so tangent arc... Wait, did the tool... Tangent arc here? Uh-oh. Tangential arc. Why are we not... Am I not able to... What's going on here? Snap, slice, 3D sketch. There is no... Huh. Why is that unable to be selected? What the... What is going on here? Wait a minute, I can't start my arc here? Whoa. Okay, there's my tangent line. Fusion is thinking very hard about this. This is where things start to get cursed. These sketches have too many constraining elements on them. Oh, it will just not let me start it there. It hates it. What the heck? It just doesn't want me to put this arc down. It's probably having trouble figuring out what the tangent is. I based a bunch of dimensions off of this location, so it's probably having a little bit of trouble. Hey, what's up, Gonad? How you doing? Well, it should be collinear now. Yeah, see, that's all locked in place. There's just a lot going on. That's a lot. There's a lot here. Now, this one. Arc. Tangent. And then it says no. All right, so we'll have to figure this out later. So first, I guess I'm going to come down from over here. From this one. So we don't need sketch 2 anymore. That'll clean things up a little bit. So I've got my 17 and then I've got my 3.3 at the top of the 17, but then that's going to continue on. Oh boy, this is confusing. Really, it was just a curved rectangle, and that's all it really needs to be, but yeah, it's too busy. I probably should do this in another sketch. Let's be honest. Let's undo this before it blows up and ruins the whole project. I'm looking for 17 to disappear. Okay, so let's just start a new sketch on this face. That'll unburden the computer a little bit. Okay, sketch 2 we don't need. We need this line, but we need to come in on this line at that point, and we need to go 17. And actually, you know what I should be doing? That should be a rectangle. So I'm going to create a 3-point rectangle from this guy over here, 17, and then up 3.3. And then over here, I'm going to go up 3.3 there. And then I guess I could just do it live. You just play us out. What does that even mean? So let's hold on. Let's hit escape a bunch of times and confuse the software. Regular line, I don't know if this will count. I'll regular line that one. And then we're going to take an arc and do a tangent arc from here to here. That's just the best guess. Thank you for going in that direction. I really appreciate the arc exploding like this in a way that I can't fix. Now I could use the chamfer in sketches, but then it kind of hates it because then it has like an undefined dimension. So I don't know if that'll work. We could try. I could try. Modify fillet from here to here. I guess it's okay with it because the dimensions are on these two faces. So that's okay. Although it looks a little different from the arc that we had on the other one. Well, let's just see what it does. Let's see what the software does with it. You should just select all the edges and offset. Select all the edges and offset. I'm not sure I understand. Oh, dear God. Ah, no! My goof off. I just smacked it off of the table. It had no chance. Oh yeah, that's why I need these lines. Just these horizontal lines, because then it'll create the arc tangentially to these so that when I mirror it, everything sits together properly. Because like that distance might need a connector line. This one I don't think does, but let's see what happens. Create let's create an arc at a tangent to this. Meets it up with this, and then I can create, or I can rather constrain this to this. Okay, so it does just meet up there, or it can't alter it any further. What's up, esports? Don't use too much goof off or you won't have a stream. Ha ha ha. Get it? Because it's like you're goofing off. You're not actually streaming is pretty much goofing off. Let's be honest. Just pray I never find my goon off. I think that'll overconstrain. I think it's okay. All right, so we have kind of a pseudo version of the other loft, or the other form that we need to reach. So in that case, loft might be pretty straightforward, although I don't know how much I trust loft. Loft. Where is it? Loft to here. I can't select. Oh, I need to actually give it depth, or it's selecting it. It's not closed. Why do you lie to me? You're closed. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's not select. It's not closed off. There's a gap. There's a gap. Probably the line tool put something in there that I didn't want it to. So back to the sketch. Get this out of the way. What have you done? Stop selecting the faces. Jeez. Whoa. Okay. I see. So that line. Yeah, let's get rid of it. We'll just go directly into it. It's going to be a little awkward, but it'll close off that. And then this isn't defined, is it? We'll give this one a horizontal. I don't like to use the horizontal when things need to slide around, but in this case, that is kind of a fixed deal. Yeah, over. All right, so now I can turn back on profile selection, and it's still not closed. Okay, so I'm guessing that it's here. Nope. All right, where are you perforated? Naha. Got him. There we go. Okay. Now I've got the profile. Finish the sketch. Bring in the sacrificial body, and we can try to give it a little loft. Actually, if it can do based on sketches, we don't even need that. I could just loft the whole thing. Well, let's just try it like this and just see what it looks like. I'm so used to like not using this tool that bonk. So without much ado, I mean, that looks okay. It's a little too smooth. Last Miles is rating with a party of 38. Oh, I didn't know Last Miles went off and streamed stuff. I was telling people here to go check out Last Miles. Have you tried and compared the plasticity? The 3D printed goop is pretty good. I mean, look here. So what we're doing right now is we are modifying a pair of safety goggles. These are, you know, what is it? Bubba Tactical, super duper, you know, lifted truck guy, kind of gun guy, safety glasses. It was not a stream. I had a beer and played a game. That is a stream. Wait a minute. That's the definition. So these are from ESS. It's like an American company, and we're creating the reason. Okay. Every now and then I go shooting with a friend, and he suggested under the pain of death that I make sure that I get these, the crossbow from ESS. The reason that he insisted was they're cheap-ish. They're light and all that, and they fit under earmuffs, which I use when I use safety glasses anyway. And they've got the prescription insert. And so the prescription insert's all well and good unless you have a gigantic, stupid nose like I do. You can tell, even just from this view, that my nose is protruding from these glasses, my regular glasses, in quite a large manner. So they make this bridge on this pair of glasses in a specific way, and in a very narrow way. And so I need to move the rubbly mounts out to meet my face. Well, a while back, for my very large numbered birthday, it's 117, I think I turned, I bought myself a CR scan. I said, you know what, Bother, you deserve greatness in your life. Get a CR scan, because it'll be funny, and you can do weird stuff with it. Well, the weird stuff that we've done so far is scanning a steering wheel and then scanning my face, which did okay. It actually did pretty well. We got a pretty good face scan, and I was able to pull that into Fusion360. In Fusion360, hold on, let me cancel the loft. We'll do the loft in just a second here. We'll try lofting and sweeping and see if we can use forms, but look at this face. Look at this countenance. Don't look at this. This is creepy and weird. I got this scan of my face. And we scanned the glasses. Oh, look at the dead expression on my eyes. It pulled in textures, but it made them very, very, what do you call it? Pastel. It kind of pasteled up all the textures. What a cool dude. Yeah, only when they fit properly. Look at this. Okay, so I can reassemble these and show you. I can reassemble these. So this piece just snaps in. It's actually getting the geometry of the glasses themselves was very difficult to do, but the forming tool allowed me to do that. I was able to use the forming tool and then the shelling tool in order to create the front piece that goes in front of the lenses. I didn't need to remodel the lenses. I don't need the whole thing. Plasticity is an artist-focused competitor to Fusion. Oh no, that's not an artist-focused. I would use Blender if I was doing this any other way. I am an engineer, so I use numbers a lot, and so you know, programs like Blender. There are plugins for Blender, but see how these fit my face? I can't see the image of my own body right now. It's not good. Like, it's not good. If I get rid of the entire nose piece and I pull the whole thing out, they actually fit much better. So, I mean, there's potential here for them to fit properly. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to build a nose piece that's still going to rest the glasses on the rubber on my face. I need an Oh Bother custom bridge for my airsoft glasses and wide nose. Yeah, it's tough out there, man. So we got to make sure that the prescription insert still clips to the glasses themselves, and I need to basically just widen out. This is the prescription. I meant to go to my other camera. These were expensive. This was not cheap. I mean, it wasn't like break the bank expensive, but I had to get an eye test, and I got new lenses for these glasses and these glasses. That ran me about $400. Not cool, but at least from now on, I can go to like an online glasses place and get much cheaper. So if you already know your prescription, like the crossbow and the prescription insert and getting them lensed is a lot cheaper. I want a 3D animation of the product after it's done with an Oh Bother face scan. I'm not quite up to the animations. Although you can hit play on the timeline in Fusion and it'll show the process. But yeah, so all of this in here is just to make sure that what we're designing actually fits my big dumb face. So we moved things out. The rubber is still going to go pretty far out. But we might be able to put something together that I can print and test. Probably would be good to, well, I don't know. Hold on. So over here, we're going to loft, but we might have to turn the settings a little bit. Now, can I loft from sketch element to sketch element and just make the whole thing the loft? Do I want to do that though? I need a little bit of like lip here. I need to not start manipulating it beforehand. I need a little bit of solid material here to capture the front of the glasses. So I think I'll keep this and we'll loft directly over to the other form, and I'll try to make it a little bit cleaner. If maybe I should just extrude that by 1 or 0.5. 0.5, and maybe we can loft from there to there. That might make a slightly cleaner look. You can specify guide rails. Interesting. Well, it should, yeah, let's try lofting it now. Because what I can do now is create like a chamfer on this to make it smoothly transition into the wider body there. In which case I probably would want a 1mm on that. Well, let's just try it like this and just see what we get. Because that's what the original one had, that chamfer there. To make it strong. Yeah, that's a big chamfer in there. And this is moving forwards, which changes the kinematics of things a little bit. There's some pressure. But the pressure's good because it keeps stuff in place. Everything is springs, right? So let us do a loft, but we need to mess with the settings a little bit. From you. Why are you so slow? Why is loft killing my computer? What's going on here? Hold on. Okay, we're back. Sheesh. So let's see about making it just a little smoother. What if we did curvature? So that's kind of funky. This is, I think, where forming tools might come in more handy. That one's a little awkward. Now we're talking. I don't know, that's pretty cool. I could see that. I kind of wish it was a little bit more rough, but I guess this is fine. What if double tangents? That's a little neater. The rails option. But then I need that's not going to do it. I would need sketch lines to inform it. Which it's doing a pretty good job of. I don't think I need to inform it anymore. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not used to looking at stuff like this in Fusion. It would be like as a free body, it would be a little bit more digestible for me. How's it doing this down here? That's a little awkward. Yeah, it did it just fine. Yeah, I mean, this is passable. I don't know what that one does. Oh, the guide type. And then you can weight the tangency, but I think we got a pretty good thing going on. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's so much better. That's easier for me to look at. Yeah, kind of messed this up because we have that little distance there. I wonder if I should correct that. I'll just leave it in. I'll just leave it in. It's fine. It does feel a little awkward to me, though. But I probably shouldn't spend this long on it. So let's get the sketches out of here. Let's take a look at what everybody's going to look like. So we need this, we need this. Those are the three pieces of the nose piece. And then I can flip us over to here and double click on this. And then I can also mirror this guy right here. What are you? Are you an object? I guess I can only do one object at a time. I guess we'll do another mirror. Create mirror. And we're going off of this right there. Okay. We'll join them up as I need. God, they look weird. That looks weird. Very strange looking thing. Let's see how it fits my stupid face. Save, Control S. Version description, okay. And then we go back into here, and then we view the latest version. Bada bing. Just make sure that none of the sketches, okay. All the bodies, yep. Okay, so how does that work? Let's get the glasses out of here. It's cutting it close, but it is floating over. This stuff is a problem. I mean, it might dig into my skin, but it might not. In the end, I don't know what I can do. I could try cutting it a little bit if it becomes a problem. That or it'll fit right in the middle. But it's possible that this could dig into my skin. In which case, maybe I could just use a plane and cut it. Because it's not really, the geometries here are not that necessary. I think this part puts pressure on the main glasses. It's just this stuff here can be pulled in a little bit. I do not know how I would define that any better, though. I mean, if I just put in, wait, can I just like, hold on, the computer's thinking. The computer's thinking. I need to make sure that I move stuff to the over to the side more when we're visualizing stuff, just because of the layout of all of my windows in here. Okay, let's take a look over here. Oh yeah, by the way, my channel can get banned because I'm talking to Vortech here. Isn't that fun? Because I'm taking away from the Twitch experience, the Twitch user's experience. How stupid is that? Twitch is like, so stupid, we banned your channel. Still, it's just like, what? The most error-prone rounding, but it actually does a good job after a little bit. Let me go over here. Did that break it? Oh no, I think it has to be the outside one. So go before the mirrors. We'll just force a chamfer in this thing. I should probably chamfer this one up a little bit too. I'll move to Twitch. Oh no, it's cool. No, no worries, man. No, I'm just highlighting dumb rules. And now you're on Twitch. Now I can take over your airwaves. You can do nothing but talk to me. I wonder if I should chamfer it first before doing all this stuff. I don't think I can take this with it. Try doing it after the fact. It's like just forcing the issue. There we go. It's a little rudimentary, but it works. Oh, and I gotta move this before the mirror. So which one is this one's mirror? Way back. Where are we? We're looking for the little triangles. Who are you? That's not this one. This one would be a later mirror because it's did I do everything at once? Oh, I did everything at once and then I cut out the different sections. I see. Come on. It won't let me do it earlier. Ugh. All right, I'll just have to do 2. How much was that one? 0.585. There. Okay, and then the mirrors. And now we have the Fisher-Price super soft, won't hurt your child nose bridge. Yeah, it's a little bit hell. The problem is I designed it from the glasses clip up to the where it mounts to the glasses themselves. I designed it backwards. I should have gone from the part, like the front piece here, inward, and then it wouldn't be so cursed, because then I would have 2 groups for the thing. And then I decided to split it off. I did some plane splitting over here, which was a bad idea. I should have left everything to be mirrored and made 3 of them, but whatever. Whatever, it works, and I still have a somewhat fungible design. If you saw my custom 3D printer project, you would cry. You're not the one that was in Discord with all those amazing custom 3D printers, because I did something similar with Fusion with my 3D printer. I basically redesigned all the brackets in Fusion, but I found somebody else's model first. But yeah, the timeline looks something like this. With a timeline like this, I like to make folders for the different stages. But a lot of this project was starting off with like a design that I didn't know if it would work, and recreating the old one. And it eventually came to fruition. We softened that up. So let's save, because this may, believe it or not, this is going to be the final version of this thing. I don't know. This looks too organic. I kind of would want it to be a little bit more like mechanical, but I'm going to leave it. We'll see what it looks like. I think it'll be fine. And I don't have to think about it after this, right? I don't have to think about it any longer. I guess it's all right. It's fine. It's fine. I got to stop thinking about it. All right. Blah, 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 blah. You. And then give me the latest. It's thinking. Ah! Oh! Ah! Oh! Yes, good. Good. The thing is, like, if I get smacked in the face by something, this edge is going to be driven into my squishy flesh. That's sort of what I'm thinking about this in terms of, like, the kinematics of getting smacked in the face by like a wrench. What parts are going to, like, potentially injure me? It's going to be putting pressure on this here, which will have 9mm. This is maybe where the 3D mouse would come in handy. Going to be putting pressure backwards on this, driving it directly into the core of my eye. But I think that'll be good, because it'll be kind of pinching my nose. Yeah, I should put a couple, like, spikes, maybe some, like, spines. Maybe little points that stick out. That is so close to my bridge, though. I think it'll probably sit a little bit further forward, and I wanted it to kind of sit flat, but we are putting more pressure on the glasses piece by having it so far forward. If I could move it further forward, there would be even greater pressure on the glasses piece. And this really is like, it's that real springy kind of metal. So I tried, I put like glasses cloth on my hands, and I tried bending it out this way, and it just won't keep the bend. Yeah, heat is probably the only thing that'll get me that, but either way, if I can get it to clip in, the pressure will hold it in. So I might have to make those little arms thicker or wider, probably wider. But if everything like meets up and fits, I'll be pretty jazzed. So this is ready to send to the 3D printer. I can't believe that was actually pretty easy. I just don't like this. I may want to play with the form tool and maybe try to come up with something that I can manipulate in order to make it sweep over to that more easily. But for the most part, I mean, I think that was pretty good. We got a 3D scan of our object, and we were able to fit it to, that's no moon. That's my nose. Oh my God. To the giant schnoz. Now I'm going to print this with a 6-foot radius on the circle here that is my nose, and have just a giant nose in the corner of my shop. Yeah, if you look hard enough, you'll keep finding issues. Index C, 50 months. Oh, hell yeah, Index C. Thank you so much for subbing. I appreciate all you people subbing to me. We've had kind of a quiet day. Raids are what brought everybody over here. So some of y'all are from Last Miles. Some of y'all are from Code Rush. Who else do we have? Code Rush, Last Miles, and then we had a hype train starting with Hegpets with 37 months. Thank you so much, Hegpets. I gotta figure out animating stuff. That's something that I should do. Figure out how I can, or make something that does it live. Have like the bubble pop up and say the thing, or do the animation and pop out. I know it's easier to do in other programs, but I'll figure out a way that I can appreciate doing it. All those visuals, all those little animations that you guys see on my stream were made by a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in like a year. I should send him a message. And he loves doing stuff like that, but I don't like tasking him with these free jobs that benefit no bother, you know? I guess I'm willing to accept the weirdness of this and give it a try. We'll give it a try. I'll see where we are, and then when we come back tomorrow, I'll have something to show for it. God damn it, it's only 3:30. This went too smoothly. Everything today went too smoothly. It was like a goddamn tutorial. Yeah, I'm going to see what the effect of making this a little bit more narrow is. If it's going to put too much pressure on the glasses, or if that'll seat everything properly. But the problem is the glasses are pressing against the safety glasses, and they're going to scratch if I'm not careful. If there's enough pressure there, it might not move because it's just plastic against plastic. For all intents and purposes, I probably should try to bend these somehow. I just don't want to break them. I don't know if they're titanium or what. Hey, Brink Gigi. How you doing? Yeah, like these are already a little bit bent, but the crossbow is more bent than that. This bend does not meet the freak of the other bend. And you want to match your freak. Wait, that's backwards. You going this way. I don't want to touch these lenses too much. The problem is, they're like, you probably don't need the glare coating on these. I'm like, okay. I absolutely 100% needed the glare coating because you have 4 lenses. Or four, it's basically reflects back and forth between the 2 sets of lenses and makes them really, really bad. Had to work half a day today thanks to the holiday. Oh, man. Had to work half a day? Yeah, see, look, they hit at the back there. They need to be a little bit further in, and I don't know how to adjust that. Probably could have talked to the glasses people, but they thought everything was fine. That guy didn't know what he was talking about. Will you be using freedom units tomorrow? No. No, we use metric. We appreciate metric here. Plus, I mean, even our English standard numbers are metric. That's where they originated. That's what our standards are all based on, is metric. So even when I'm talking in America units, I actually mean metric. I probably should sit away a little bit, just as long as these already touch my eyelashes. So yeah, but the fun thing about Fusion is if you've got a weird dimension in like a weird unit, you can enter that in. It'll just convert it for you. Yeah, the numbers are more kind if you're working in millimeter on small things. So yeah, we've modeled it. We've got it. I've got my version of it. These will be out a little bit from where they are. There's a weirdo curve. This will be closer in. It'll put more pressure here, which could potentially scratch it over here. But that's pretty well over into my peripheral vision. Yeah, and you can do math in the number entry form, and it'll preserve your equation. It'll convert it a little bit, right? But if you put like 1/2 plus 0.2 millimeter divided by 2, if you're doing like calculator notation, it'll understand what you're doing and get you that number in the end. So if I have like a hard conversion to get to like the center of something, I can just put that in there, and then if a number changes, I can change it again. There's also you can use variables. So if you want to change the clearance on something and it's all driven by equations, I could put a number in and it'll go back and sort of iterate through the steps and redraw what it needs to. Pretty cool. So I wonder if I can just quickly try to loft a 3D dimension over to it. So I'm going to reverse time to before the loft, and I just want to take the form tool and see what I can do. So what I'd like to do is create a loft from here to here. And so using forms, they split it off into editable faces, and I can lower the number of faces and the whatever else. Those are the other thingies. In order to produce a slightly different looking. I mean, that does do it very smoothly. It doesn't match up here, but it keeps it kind of smooth. I have variables in for 3D printer, press and fit stuff. Yeah, if you think about like faces and steps and the timeline properly, you should be able to iterate, which is, that's how engineers say fuck up, through your designs until you get what you absolutely need, which is really cool to have. It's a really cool feature to have. So I can manipulate all of these in order to create the kind of sweep that I'd want to see in something like this. It's funny that it just ignored. It said, you know what? No. It said, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I want. And that could potentially make sort of a smoother transition over to where I want to go. 9 times out of 10, 0.3. For me, it's 0.2. 0.2 everything, above and below. I don't know what that adjusts. Doing that in 4 sections per. Yeah, the more sections you have, the smoother it gets, but I'm trying to like lower the number of faces to see if I can. I don't really think it's going to work out that well. Well, that's kind of cool. Oh, I see. I need more faces in order to make the curve work. Yeah, the resin printer is insane. What we did on this channel is we bought a broken resin printer. And the broken resin printer was supposed to be, this company, like the eBay seller, sells these broken printers so that you can buy like 2 or 3 and create a working printer out of it. And so this one had a trouble with a flickering UV LED. I tore it apart, and it turns out the wire that connected it was a screw terminal, and it was just a little bit frayed. So I cleaned it up, put the screw terminals back down, got rid of a ton of resin that was spilled all over the machine, and it works perfectly. And it's a previous generation flagship, so it makes like These prints that we've been seeing today are amazing. That's a great idea. The resin printers like have what, one moving part and the rest of it is a screen. I expected the screen to be broken because most of them, the screen is what like breaks because it's seeing the most like abuse. Usually it's like the surface adhesion or the screen just ups and dies because they only have so much life on them. I don't know why we have 4K monochromatic telephone-sized screens, but that's what they use, probably for like a DLP projector or something like that. Pretty cool stuff, though. What if I sweep from face to face? Doesn't let me do it. I need a path. You need a path for that. But in the end, it was just the capacitor thing, so it was like super easy for us to fix. Super easy. This would be smoother if I got rid of that too. That's okay. No, it's okay. We'll just go back to what I had before, which is the heavily chamfered, lofted thing. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. All right. All right. I'm spinning my wheels, and I promise, the promise from me to you is that I won't do that during stream. I will not spin my wheels and just listlessly do stuff in order to fill time. See, we basically revolved this around the center point so that it's like just sort of scooting them outwards. And that's how we got it to fit the face. This is a picture from the microscope camera, so there's perspective on it and everything. It's not as good as it could be. Really, what you should use is a flatbed scanner. I should have put this down on the flatbed scanner, taken a scan of it, and that gives you a more orthogonal view of the face. I figured I could do this kind of just haphazardly because it's rubber. It'll move around. A Creality Halon. What was mine? I forget. You keep activating my idea lamp. I have an idea light. Every time somebody says idea into chat. Yeah, is there an orthographic camera? Is that a thing that exists? I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, so Fusion lets you bring in canvases. And so you bring it as a canvas and then you scale it using their scaling tools. You can get pretty close to the right size. There's also a calibration tool that lets you select 2 points on the image and you tell it the distance of those 2 points. So you can use all of that to get it pretty well close to IRL dimensions. And I guess printing it will tell in time. I may need to extend these upwards. That's going to be a tough one to figure out. It's a lens, and yes, they're ludicrously expensive, of course. The way to get as orthographic as possible would be to use a macro lens from far away, right? So your perspective lines are going way out into the distance. Is that correct? I could be totally wrong about that. I'm just inferring based on previous experience doing stuff. Well, I wish we had the Star Trek replicator. If we had the Star Trek replicator, I could poop out the print, but it's a 2-hour print. So we're not going to sit here and watch a print. I've done that in the past. That's like crazy. This thing has saved my bacon. I mean, to be fair, these 3D models would be just fine on their own. But I probably would have had to iterate through quite a bit in order to get this to where it is. I don't want to do too much work on this. There's a you could get real deep down the rabbit hole with this thing, right? I could model the rubber. What just happened? One reference is out of date. Oh yeah, let's update that. You could model stuff until you're blue in the face. But what I did is I took a haphazard scan of both the glasses and the bridge piece, or sorry, the glasses and my ass, in order to make sure that these will fit me appropriately. It'll probably be a little bit further forward from where it is, but if it fits at all, I'm gonna chalk that up as a win and just take that to the bank and be done with this project. The Stuff Made Here guy uses a spinning camera rig. Yeah, there's also who built that? I think it is Stuff Made Here as well. He's got like that $250,000 shop. That guy made a lot of money and is putting it to good use. He just made total bank and has put it into his shop. And his projects are so crazy. But yeah, that is the guy with his own water jet. He made a camera that can take an orthogonal picture, and I guess his thumbnail is the most cursed thing ever, which I was able to do something similar by doing in the Creality software. I was able to look inside my own face and get a similarly cursed thumbnail. Oh my, this is what happens when Oh Bother lives next to a cheesesteak place. This is Oh Bother moved in 2 blocks from Pat's, and he needs you to get out of the way of his little scooty chair, or he's gonna run your ass over. Please give me cheesesteaks. Also, this job that in quit after YouTube really took off was quite high up. Yeah, that's right, it was Formlabs. YouTube is not paying water jet money, though. Personal water jet money. What's up, Copper? Yeah, so success. We've got my Bubba-looking ass sitting here with an orbital laser wound in my neck, just because the 3D scanner does not do well with beards. It does not do well with beards, so it looks like something like Master Chief shot me with a pulse laser. But so anyway, ignoring the weirdness, the textures really help this not look completely cursed. Just even the subtle textures, because if you look at it from a weird angle without the textures, it really looks horrible. It looks like I was attacked by a bioweapon. But we were able to get the scan of my stupid looking face, put glasses on it with a stupid looking scan of the good looking glasses, and then engineer a piece that is very similarly built to what was previously there, only this fits the contours of my beautiful noggin. And in the near future, I may modify the clip piece to handle a little bit more pressure, which would mean probably extending them up vertically or making this a little bit more shallow. But we'll have to see. I have to compare them to IRL. Like, for instance, with the clip-in sections, I had to do just a little bit of tweaking, move them by like 0.2 in, just to make sure that, because this clips a little higher up than the previous one to give me maximum shnoz clearance, but they fit in very lightly. They just click. That guy for sure has stock, yeah. Untold riches, what would we all do with them? I'm glad he has a purpose, and I'm glad that he's doing really, really cool engineering stuff. I would love to be able to have the sort of scope that he has in his projects. He's able to do some genuinely amazing things, because I sure don't have a shortage of things that I want to do. But anywho, we're done for the day. I told you guys I would never drag it out. We are just hanging out. I've seen new names popping up in chat, so I decided to keep going for a little bit. I'm going to make me a little bit larger here, because I'm vain. There we are. Oops. Alt. Control? No, Alt. Which one in OBS keeps it? Shift. There you go. You know, if you want to get really crazy, oh bother, you should do a photolithography. Everybody suggests photolithography, but it creates a lot of electronic waste. There's just a ton of electronic waste with that. You get gigabytes and gigabytes of data sort of forming up to create your photolithographies. And I didn't find it to be incredibly effective. Although with photogrammetry or photolithography, it probably wouldn't create some kind of a weird, like, gaping wound out of my neck hair. So that's sort of the advantage of that. The 3D scanner, of course, is really good at, you know, putting solid objects into CAD. This makes me look fat as hell. This is why I'm like trying to control the angles, because like there I don't look fat. There I look super fat. Orthogonal bother. Ah! Orthogonal side profile bother. That's like a music video. Dun, 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 dun. We have fun. All right, I'm done. I can't keep going. Oh, photolithography for microchip manufacturing. Oh, that's right, photolithographies. That's why I said photogrammetry. ZZ Top, new member. His name's Cheesesteak. All right, let's see this online. Let's throw the Twitch people at somebody. Unless there's nobody like doing similar. Polarin is doing programming. Davies is on my list right now. All right, you guys go where you need to go. Yeah, it's Friday. No, it's Thursday. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's Thursday. Get ready for Friday, everybody. 4th of July tomorrow. Yeah, photolithography for doing microchips. I don't have a microchip that I want to build, and I don't understand how the layers go together. I could have taken a class in it, but I decided to stick with my motors and controls. Happy Independence Day tomorrow. Yeah. Happy Independence Day, everybody. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go touch grass, give the dog a walk. Tomorrow's another day just loud. Yeah, it'll be loud at night. People set off fireworks. Like what? Eastbound and down images, vibes with this image. What? Oh no. I haven't watched that or seen that or know what that is. Hold on. I'm searching it in all caps. Oh, you know, yeah, that ADHD generate kept telling me, DGen kept telling me that I look like this guy. Or no, it was actually a different dude. It was a YouTuber. I think a dead YouTuber. It was a YouTuber who basically had the same exact look. Yeah, except the problem is this. The open back of my head here, the part of my brains that have been blown out, makes it look like I might have a mullet. Which I guess I can't deny the mullet right now. I need to get a haircut. It would have been cool if it was able to get like the full radius. But anyway, yeah, so big shnoz plus 3D scanner equals some very intense 3D modeling, but anything is possible. And if you really get into the reverse engineering of all of the different forms, you know, the techniques that they used in order to make their product, all the different geometries, you can simplify stuff pretty far. You know, most of the engineers are not looking to make their jobs incredibly complicated. And so the tools like, well, seldomly the forming tool, but also the various sketching tools that are available to us in Fusion360, I was able to actually reproduce this part and create a different classes mount. Now, as to the success, how many iterations I'm going to need until things fit properly, that's a little bit more complicated. We're going to get into that maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll have to do this work in the background because it's like print 2 hours, clean 15 minutes, put it under UV light so that it strengthens it up, bring it back over to the shop, click it into place, see if it works. Oops, it broke. Print out another one. Like that's going to be the kind of like intense work that I'm going to need to do in order to get these to actually fit completely properly. But it'll be pretty cool because then I can get, should I get the $150 insert that makes it I don't think they have it in stock. That's the problem. I want to get the like green blue reflective. If I go into accessories, it would be eye shield accessories. And then they've got these. And then these are laser proof. Should I get my laser? $116, I can spend $20 on Amazon and get the same kind of laser rated glasses. So I don't think I'm going to be paying for that. But they have the reflective blue ones, but they're not in stock. It would look a lot like the 3D model. And $60 is a little bit steep. I think this is an offshoot of Oakley. The Amazon ones, you might not be able to trust to be laser rated. It depends. Depends on what you're searching for. Also, I don't know, there's a couple ingresses for lasers around here. But if I get something that blocks blue, those could be good for streaming. I can go into laser mode. Of all people to have like blue laser safety glasses, I'm probably pretty high up on the list. Because I run a blue laser behind me. 35K over 1 million for keeping games alive. Pretty awesome. Or what is it? Stop K games. Canceling? No. SKG. Stop killing games. It's the title. It should be like, well, no, I don't know. I'm not clever. Stop killing games, I guess is terse enough, but or short enough to convey that. But it just kind of, I didn't understand what they were talking about at first until I had it explained to me. You know, it's killing terminally online games. All right, I'm done. I think we did a decent job modeling this, and we learned a little bit about forming tools, and we learned a little bit about ourselves. I am going to go feed the dog and pet the dog and then take the dog for a walk. Yeah, I appreciate all the help today. I'll try to get to know the forms a little bit better because I think they're way more powerful than we're letting on. The form tools that allow us to put in an object and treat it like Blender, but we get to treat it like Blender, but with engineering numbers in there. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, though. We'll have something to do. Maybe we'll work on Burn the Subs, and we'll have safety glasses, finally. So I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Here's the end card, which has my Discord link, which is the important one. The Discord link is really the important one because the Blue Sky got hacked, and I don't know what's going to happen with that Blue Sky. I just don't know. So I don't have that anymore to give little tiny project updates on. I kind of hate that. I could go back to Twitter, but I just don't want to. There was a big exodus of all the project people from Twitter to Blue Sky, and so I had all these wonderful accounts that I was on, looking at all the stuff they were doing. Then again, the Japanese project people are over on Twitter, so I don't know anymore. So generally, when it's a hard choice for me on social media, I decide not to use it. So if you want to catch me, I'll be on Discord, and I will be streaming tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody. What the fuck? Oh, sorry, it's over here. That's this one.